866-880-9600 to get signed up today.
Isn't this a sports show?
1999, Mike Maslowski.
Yep.
Who I believe
Linebacker.
came to the aforementioned high school that I played football at.
Yes.
One day, randomly. I don't know.
Went on to star in Monsters, Inc.
Almost entirely.
I broke Josh.
I can't do this radio show anymore.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
I simply can't. These are hostile work conditions. I can't be forced to work like this. I can't be forced to work like this. I am just sitting back in my chair staring at the sky hoping that God's hand comes through the ceiling and takes me home.
Take the show with you by listening on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app at 810WHB.com or by searching for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
I think the reputation of this show, because of you, Rudy, has
increased?
No, I think, Rudy, that
Trending up?
the reputation of this show, because of you, has been sullied.
This is Almost Entirely Sports on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Never a dull moment. Are you kidding me? Holy smokes, we've got some stuff going on out here. Not just as we continue to broadcast live from the Power and Light District for Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB in the McFadden studio here tonight. Not just literally across the street. I mean, I can see an entrance into the T-Mobile Center from where I'm sitting right now out this window. If you ever meander by across from the T-Mobile Center, you see a bunch of 810 window clings just across the street from this side of the T-Mobile Center. This is where we broadcast from whenever we're down here for a little bit of Big 12 tournament action. It's where I'm broadcasting from right now. Please don't tap the glass. I'm like a fish in an aquarium. If you do tap on the glass, I will get very scared and may die. So please do not do that. Although if you want to attempt to feed the animals in this case, leave a piece of pizza out on the side of the door and maybe I'll just wander over and grab it. Who's to say? But it's not just that we've obviously constantly got stuff going on out here over the course of these last couple of days, the next couple of days, plenty of action out here at Fan Fest. But the rest of the sports world today did not get the memo that we are moving on to college basketball for at least a couple of weeks. We've got some time here. We got pre-March Madness. It is March. Welcome to March. This is March, as they say. Don't tell that to baseball because... And, look, whatever miracle it took from the travel through time to be able to go back before a couple of deadlines that they must have had to travel back before so they could get all 162 in. Because the owners told us the games were getting canceled. I think we had 2 series canceled, 2 more that were about to be canceled or did also get canceled. And
it's the logistics, Josh. You can't do it.
You know what it is, Rudy, what it really is? It's logistics, and it's also gosh darn cancel culture. And I've just had about enough of this gosh darn thing. Cancel culture strikes again. Baseball games have been canceled. And by canceled, I mean there's going to be 162 again. Crazy how that works. But I look around. We've got baseball. We've got that to talk about. I can literally look out the window. We can talk about the basketball. And then the AFC West is truly the division that never sleeps. It was Russell Wilson and the Broncos. And then today, sometimes those push notifications show up and make you do the that long blinking GIF. That guy kind of looking confused, but blink, excuse me, pardon me, what's that? That happened a little bit earlier today when the Los Angeles Chargers traded for Khalil Mack. I got big picture, I got little picture, I got angles on this. I'm going to talk about that here first and foremost in just a second, but then we'll talk about that and probably some other stuff with our friend Jordan Foote. He's going to join us out here in the McFadden studio in like 10 minutes or so at 8. Hoping to be joined by our dear friend Dani Welniak of KCTV5. She will just eventually, she will have to knock on the glass. I'll let her in, and hopefully we can have a nice chat with her. It's been a while since we've been able to have Dani on, just to get our schedules all lined up. I love talking to Dani Welniak.
I forgot all about bugs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, is she going to have a bug fact at the Big 12 tournament, man? I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. I don't know if we're going to spring that on her. She's out of practice, but she's also never come not prepared. Like, she's always ready with the bug fact. So, expecting to have her in here. I say expecting to, not because I don't think Dani is a reliable person, but because bleep happens out here, man. This is just we're in bleep happens territory. And then at 9 tonight, our friend Sterling Holmes will join us. He usually joins us on Friday, but no Friday show tomorrow night because we got KU on tomorrow. So we're going to have Sterling hop in. I did a little Brisco Thursday with him over on the Homestretch earlier today. And then tonight he'll join us in here. And then I believe right now, and this is also, again, expecting to have a little bit of get to know the interchin with intern Adele. I don't think she's even had a reason so far to understand where interchin comes from. And I don't think we're going to be able to do full headlines at the end of we'll wait till I'm back in studio. Maybe we'll do that sometime next week. In the next couple of weeks, we'll try to get Adele to bring us some headlines and deliver some news. But that's also got to be a wild way for me to say that word for people who haven't been listening to this show for literal years.
I honestly don't know if I know the origin story of the interchin. That was before me even a little bit.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're right. That was definitely a me and Beard's opposite of baseball game in July sort of origin story.
I'm sure you told me. I'm just also not always smart and probably forgot.
There are lots of layers to it. The most important thing is that I make sure you know where the liners are, or all of the imaging is for that segment, because the imaging really does bring that segment to life. I will say that is an important part of the headlines.
Yeah,
but,
I do understand that he lives underneath in one of the cupboards.
There you go. You got it.
Struggling
you got it. I knew you'd get there.
And he's not allowed to leave or eat often.
Well, he has the Doom CD. There's a copy of Doom that is in the ESPN
I did not know
City
about that.
Studios. Yeah, I think that's his favorite toy. I don't remember exactly. Because Beard shared the room with the interchin. So the the urchin, not an interchin. An interchin is what an intern is. Interchins are AES interns. The urchin, whole other deal. It's got a trading card.
Good news for Adele is our track record. All of our interchins are way more successful than us, so
that's true.
We got a strong track record.
And I will be the first to admit that Adele has gotten kind of a hectic start to her time interning with this show. And I feel like it's official whenever she's able to deliver some headlines. But we'll see what Adele's learned in her time interning so far with us. We'll get to know the intern a little bit after we talk to Sterling. That was a Rudy producing idea there, and I like it very much. Even as I'm out here on remote, we'll see if we can't make some of that happen. I think that'll be we'll have a real fun show for you tonight. Let me give you my quick big picture, little picture thing on the Khalil Mack trade, and then we'll talk about baseball probably after we talk to Dani a little bit. Certainly we'll talk about the return of baseball with her as well. But the Chargers give a second-round pick and a sixth-round pick to the Bears for Khalil Mack, and they're taking on the salary. Let me tell you why I like this for the Chargers, okay? Understanding that Khalil Mack is much like Russell Wilson, I suppose. We're having our jaws hit the ground based off of what they did years ago. Although Khalil Mack has not fallen off a cliff by any means whatsoever, and even if you look at a guy like Von Miller being really, really, really impactful and really, really, really productive late into his career. I think this is a move that makes a ton of sense for the Chargers, even noting that, trading for Khalil Mack the first time as the Bears made that move, and the value of Khalil Mack and his original contract and all of that, that was at a higher point than it was right now because he's aged. That's how this all works. But the Chargers now get to line up Bosa and Mack at their edges, and also Khalil Mack is just an outrageously diverse edge player who can just do literally everything well. He's a menace. And now they have two menaces that are going to be challenging Orlando Brown and somebody else twice a year, and they're going to be challenging Russell Wilson on that front twice a year. And I think this is a point that I saw a tweet from Mina Kimes going, you know what they're doing here? They're maximizing their window and pushing up their ceiling while Justin Herbert is still on his rookie contract. That's the way to do it. You will see, and right now the Chiefs are entering a new era where they have some flexibility on Patrick Mahomes' contract, but their swings have to be even more vitally precise. They can't get anything wrong as the quarterback number balloons. Having a rookie contract for your quarterback increases your margin for error. And so right now the Chargers have that. They've extended Mike Williams. They still have Keenan Allen. They have Bosa. They have Khalil Mack now. This is a super interesting strategy that I think makes a lot of sense. And I also will frame it this way, and I'm going to have to unfortunately quote, I have followed him back, but it's really tentative right now. Kent Swanson, we had him on the show last night, only to find out he had one more Twitter follower than I did. We'll check on the score on that again soon. Please do unfollow at Kent_Swanson, even though I'm going to quote one of his tweets here. He makes this point, and actually I'm going to reverse engineer. I want to say this also up front. This is big picture. I do think that today the Kansas City Chiefs have more pressure on them, at least in perception, than they did a week ago. Now, I say at least in perception because if you're Brett Veach or Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes, it's hard for there to be more pressure on you. You're kind of at max pressure all the time. Falling short of the Super Bowl is a failure, which is crazy, but I think true and fair here. And the goals you set for yourself pretty much apply maximum pressure. Hard for that, in my mind, hard for that to be expanded upon based on pretty much anything anyone else does. But also, having Russell Wilson now quarterbacking the team that had the worst quarterback really for the last several years, I mean for many years, the worst quarterback team in the division now might at least has the most or second most accomplished quarterback in the division, opposite only your guy. You know, 1 Super Bowl each, been to 2, actually relatively similar accomplishments. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes in much less time than Russell Wilson, but he's also done it for longer. You can split that however you want, whatever. But you have a legit guy who you know is a dude, quarterbacking the Broncos, who have not had one of those guys since the shell of Peyton Manning somehow made it work. That's more pressure on your team, at least again in how we look at it and say, wait a second, there are not 2 extra bye weeks on this schedule whenever you know they're going to beat the Broncos. This changes that a little bit. There's more pressure when they play the Chargers now, literally. Knowing that you're not just lining up across from Joey Bosa and a defense that we'll see how they evolve next year. Also, of course, with Justin Herbert now being the reason that team is scary to begin with. But also now Khalil Mack is coming from the other side. There is more pressure added there, again, literally, than there was this time yesterday or 2 hours ago or whatever. But also, I think you should pay attention to that. If you're a Chiefs fan, you should note all of this right now. Said yesterday, Russell Wilson should not change the Chiefs' offseason plans. Khalil Mack should not change the Chiefs' offseason plans. You should have had your plans preparing for great quarterbacks and great pass rushers anyway. I think the Chiefs probably did. Don't think that changed anything. However, do you think it's worth opening your eyes and looking around and going, oh, man, you know what? There is a little bit of an arms race showing up here. Here's a point that Kent made, though. Here's where I'll unfortunately have to quote him, where I really wish you would unfollow him at Kent_Swanson, doing great work for the KC Sports Network, KC Draft Guide. Really, really hope you don't. Really hope you don't subscribe to any of their stuff that you can get at kcsn.substack.com. Great stuff from Craig and Matt also. Really unfortunate. But Kent makes this point. He says, literally the only thing the Chiefs could be doing right now to improve their roster is make a trade. That's it. Can't announce a free agent acquisition. People freaking out because the AFC West is jumping the mark with big trades. Relax. I agree with that also. The only thing the Chiefs could be doing to even out the quote-unquote arms race right now is something they should not be doing. If they trade for Tyler Lockett, we can assess that if it happens. Right now, it's not something I'm exactly foaming at the mouth for. Because ultimately, it's something that would cost them assets and cap space in a way that kind of makes you pay twice. Floated that idea to you a couple days ago. Trades kind of make you pay twice. The Broncos and Chargers both did in trades that I think make a lot of sense. And I think Chiefs fans should be paying attention to the rest of the AFC West right now. But I think you should also check back in around training camp. Roster's going to look a lot different by then. I think we're going to get a lot of interesting surprises in the meantime. Broadcasting live from Miller Lite Fan Fest out here at KC Live, the Power and Light District. Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's brought to you by Gutter Cover KC, X-Golf Leewood, Core First Bank, CBD American Shaman, Miller Lite, and Whataburger, opening new locations throughout the Kansas City area. We'll take a break. Jordan Foote of Sports Radio 810 WHB and Arrowhead Report joins us next.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page.
Hey, it's former Jayhawk Greg Gurley. Kansas fans and alumni are in every city and state we play. If your favorite Jayhawk fans are missing home, send them some Joe's KC barbecue. Nothing beats home court and championship barbecue on game day. Joe's will ship anywhere in the U.S. It's easy to reheat, and it tastes just as good at home as it does at Joe's. You can ship all of Joe's favorites, like ribs, brisket, burn ends, and even the famous Z-Man. Ordering is easy, and it's just a few clicks away at joeskc.com.
Kansas City, you're on the clock. Jason Anderson here from MainStreetPreowned.com. If you've been looking for a used vehicle, MainStreetPreowned.com has it. All brands, over 500 used vehicles are available at MainStreetPreowned.com. Every used car, truck, and SUV comes with dealer cash rebates up to $2,000 just in time to pay off those credit cards from the holidays. They make the process easy, and they've got your vehicle now because they turn over the inventory every 15 days. MainStreetPreowned.com. That's MainStreetPreowned.com.
B&B Theaters is excited to announce they're open. The family-owned and operated movie theater company that operates a cinema location not far from you, with nearly a dozen locations across the KC Metro. The newest luxury entertainment complexes offer the latest in sound and comfort, electric reclining seats, grand screens, marquee suites, screenplay, MX4D, full bars and restaurants, and so much more. For nearly 100 years, B&B Theaters have been serving communities across the nation. B&B Theaters, the big screen is back.
Join fellow college basketball fans at Kansas City's Big 12 Run on Saturday, March 12th at 9 a.m. in downtown KC. Runners are encouraged to wear their favorite team's colors and show their school spirit for this fun 5K race. Register today at Big12Run.com to get all the great participant perks, which include a free Big 12 basketball-themed shirt, a cool finisher's medal, and a celebratory beer after the race. It's Kansas City's Big 12 Run on Saturday, March 12th. Register at Big12Run.com. Union Broadcasting is a proud sponsor of the Big 12 Run.
Over 35 years ago, Wholesale Batteries opened their doors and sold their first battery. Times have changed, but their commitment to customer service is the same. The commitment they made back in 1977 stays true today. Wholesale Battery is one of the largest distributors of motorcycle batteries in the country. Stop in for anything you need for your motorcycle. They also have you taken care of for all your lawnmower needs, laptops, ATVs, power sports, computer backups, cell phones, portable electronics. When it comes to batteries, these guys have it all. Call 913-342-0113 or at wholesalebatteries.net. The right battery the first time.
This is Larry Ryan at Ryan Lawn and Tree. Those local Ryan pros and the Clean Red trucks are employee owners, recruited from the best college horticultural programs in the country. They want to make your lawn the best looking lawn on the block. Schedule your free estimate at ryanlawn.com.
Sports Radio 810 WHB is your home for the Big 12 Championship. Get fired up, Kansas City, before you head into the games with the official team pep rallies, or hang out and watch all the action on the big screen. And you can catch all the latest news with press conferences featuring all the players and coaches, plus live play-by-play from inside T-Mobile Center. It's all right here on your home for the Big 12 Championship, March Madness, and the Final Four. Sports Radio, 810 WHB.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
All right, really quick, I got to go to a break here, but hold on. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel. How do you spell Squeakquel?
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We're still out here at McFadden's at the Power and Light District. We're just in our little McFadden studio for the Big 12 Tournament Championship. It's Miller Lite Fan Fest presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB at Hoop Central, nonetheless. Been a busy day, a busy time out here, but nice to kind of feel like we're back. We are back with the Big 12 Tournament. And we can talk about that a little bit, or more likely, a lot of other things as well. With Jordan Foote, you can, of course, hear him, see him all across Sports Radio 810. He's been out here grinding. I'm glad that all of your fingers are still attached to your hands, Jordan. Also glad that you have apparently kept your feet on all flat surfaces so far today. That's been very good. I didn't see your spill yesterday, but can I get an injury update, an injury report right now for Jordan Foote by Jordan Foote?
Jordan Foote's feeling all right. He's doing okay. He is. I hate third person. Can I just speak from first person now?
No.
Okay. Jordan did take a spill. He was grabbing footage on stage at Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Nailed it.
That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It's great.
I will never forget it.
Yeah. So Jordan Foote finished, he stopped recording and then promptly took one step back and fell off the stage. Luckily, there was a series of trops that were today holding beer, and on Wednesday they were not. So I fell right in. My leg got trapped between that and the stage. Poor Hartzell Gray, PTSD in his eyes from when he fell out at Sporting. Stephen St. John, pure PTSD in his eyes. As he's talking to the crowd, runs over to me. The whole stage crew comes and offers to help, and I'm like, guys, go back on. I, roll off of the trough and, catch myself on the ground. And everyone was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I go backstage and just let out the biggest F-bomb you will ever hear in your entire life. It was not great. Feeling not great today. But, the great players will play through things that are bothering them. Unless you literally can't suit up, you go out there and play. You rub some dirt on it. You call it good. I already had one leg/knee injury, and it was the other one that got trapped under the stage. So now I'm just going through it this week. But Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB, is going great, and we are halfway done as of Thursday night.
I don't know how familiar you are with the extended Star Wars universe and the animated shows and everything. Well, so spoiler alert for the Phantom Menace, which came out no less than 15 years ago. Darth Maul sliced in half. Some point later in one of the animated series, he is resurrected, and his bottom half is metal spider legs kind of thing.
Oh wow.
Pretty crazy turn. Would love to see him show up at some point, maybe in a live action version of that, because I feel like that'd be pretty sick. I'm worried that is what you're going to be looking like at the end of this week, though. You're still going to be out here. You're still going to be moving stuff around, getting footage, posting stuff, all of that. But I'm worried you're going to be doing it on a cartoonishly sci-fi bottom half.
Which one was it? Was it the third Star Wars movie when Anakin and don't tell me,
okay,
Obi-Wan?
Yes.
They're fighting, and then they jump off the thing seaside, but it's lava instead of water.
Right.
And then Anakin rolls down, and then he becomes Darth Vader. Obviously,
yes.
And it was his arm and his legs, or just one arm and nothing else? No, it was one arm and both legs that were cut off. Right.
He was in a very bad spot. Then there was fire as well. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the details off the top of my head, but it was a rough go for old Annie.
And then the old guy. Don't tell me. Give me a couple seconds.
I was going to correct you. I was going to give you Obi-Wan. I actually don't know who you're referring to now.
The Pope, right?
The Pope!
Oh, not the Pope.
The
Pope!
Yes! No, you got it. You nailed it, man. He's a Pope.
No.
The Pope from Star Wars. God, I'm glad Hartzell's not here tonight. He would be having an aneurysm right now.
He had one name, the something.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do a live lookup?
I mean, do you want me to tell you and save you the Google? Yeah,
yes.
The Emperor.
The Emperor, yes.
Emperor.
The Pope, Emperor, same thing.
Emperor,
Pope.
Not Pope. Emperor,
Pope.
Emperor Palpatine.
No,
you got it. You got it yourself.
Okay.
Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah. Emperor, Pope, same thing.
So
at the end
good.
Of the day,
so Pope Palpatine sounds more Star Warsy, honestly.
Yes.
Wow.
So he obviously resurrects Anakin from the ashes, almost literally brings him in, puts the. He becomes Darth Vader, all that good stuff. That was pretty good.
That was very good. Very good Foley work.
Yeah, then he's Luke's dad, but he's not his dad, but he is his dad. They have the ancestry match type thing. I might be missing some pieces here.
You've got some of the key elements.
I used to play the games as a kid, and I had the lightsabers that actually had lights in them. I was pretty cool. I thought that was great. They were $20 at Walmart. I still felt like $1 million.
I still have an Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber somewhere in it. I couldn't tell you exactly where it is off the top of my head. I know I didn't get rid of it. That was the thing. This is a funny path on. I'm going to really get into some almost entirely on this because we got a lot of sports this week. I remember it was at a house in Wichita, so I would have been 9 or 10 years old probably. Most of my allowance money, Christmas money, whatever, anything, and if I got money, I typically was spending it on lightsabers. We had a bucket of lightsabers, huge fights in the cul-de-sac with the neighborhood kids. But then I thought later on, a lot of those lightsabers were $20 or $30 a pop, depending on if you're getting the light-up ones, getting the ones that do collapse the whole way but don't have any lights in them. You know, I had the Obi-Wan one was my favorite. I had a Darth Maul one at some point. I would love to get that back in my life, I think. But I had the thought later, like maybe when I was 16 or 17, I thought, man, that was a really dumb thing to spend all that money on. Like, that, you know, I might have spent $200 over the course of my pre-teens on lightsabers. And now I'm 27 and thinking, man, I haven't made some good choices as a preteen, spending my money on lightsabers and stuff. What else was I going to buy? I'm good, man. I was good. My parents bought food or whatever. I was out here to buy lightsabers, dang it. And I might buy more again now.
Yeah, I can't begin to tell you. Our attic was used as kind of a storage unit, essentially. Like, we couldn't crawl through the attic. Like, the show Hoarders, like, our attic is an episode of that. Nothing else in the house is, but the attic absolutely is.
Sure.
We would just, like, open it up, close our eyes, and, like, sidearm stuff into the attic.
I had a closet at my last apartment that was basically that.
I can guarantee you either the ceiling is going to cave in one day because of everything that is in there.
Oh, it's still all up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably 10 lightsabers or so in there, dude.
Wow.
Like, every single one, including the little Yoda one that doesn't light up.
Yes!
I
had a little Yoda one!
Yes. I used to beat the living crap out of my brother with those. So my brother was the type of kid. We'd be sitting on separate couches. Mom would be in the kitchen making dinner. My brother would slap himself and start crying real tears and say that I did it.
The worst.
So I felt no sympathy when I would take the lightsaber and just start hitting him with it or do the WWE moves on him or any of that stuff. I probably injured my brother several times. One of them per week was with a lightsaber.
How long do you think that went on? How many years of your life were you frequently hitting your brother with
Probably
a lightsaber
3.
once a week?
Probably about 3. Probably like 10 to no, probably from like 8 to 11, I want to say.
So that's at least 150 times when you just...
Yes.
That's
yes.
once a
Well,
week
and
for 3
sometimes
years.
it was like 5 times in a day.
Sure,
like
it's
we'd
just you have
play,
a stretch.
and I would like so conveniently miss him with the lightsaber and like smack him in the face or something, and he'd start crying. Then I'd obviously get chewed out for it. I got the belt probably. I can count on one hand how many times I got the belt. My brother got it probably. I can count on one hand how many times he got it per week. He was a frequent flyer when it comes to the belt. He just didn't listen.
Yeah.
I would be the kid that I'd go to my room and then like breathe into my pillow and mumble a bunch of stuff under my breath. My brother would just say it or like throw a marker at one of the parents or throw a box of crayons. He like nothing bad, but just like throwing temper tantrums. My temper tantrums, I tried to run away from home one time in 3rd grade. And I went around the block to my buddy's house, and my mom literally, from the back window, you could see me walking around the block. So literally, she yelled out the window for me to come home, and I did. I also skipped school in 3rd grade. Are we going to go down this path?
Yes.
Okay.
Last night, Hartzell and I did some therapy. I feel like we're hitting the same vibes right now.
So in 3rd grade must have been a rough year.
Sounds
I ran
like
away
it.
from home and skipped school all in one day.
Oh, wow, one day.
Or not all in 1 year.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
okay,
not in
that's
1
okay.
day.
It's still
It's
a big
been a
day
long
for you.
week.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
been. And it's also,
So-
let me remind you, it's only Thursday.
Yeah. So I woke up. I wasn't feeling great. Obviously, I tried the whole thermometer, the light bulb trick. I was like 8 or 9, still like I was with it. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
was
a
trying
good-
to get
that's a
out
good
of school.
trick.
I was trying to watch cartoons all day. I told Mom, I was like, I'm not going to school today. I don't feel good. She was like, yeah, well, you don't have a fever, bud, so sorry, but you're going to have to go. I was like, all right, well, fine, that's cool. I came back out about 10 minutes later. I don't want to go today. She's like, sorry, bud, you're going to have to do it. I was like, all right. So I got dressed, got my backpack packed, all that good stuff. I walked to the living room and said, all right, I'm walking to school today. She's like, no, you're not. So I start walking to school. She pulls up in the car. I could walk to school in probably 15 minutes. Like, it was pretty close. I knew the route. I'd walked home all the time when I was like 8 or 9. Parents trust me. I was generally a good kid.
Sounds like it.
Mom pulls up on the way to school. Hey, I already know what you're up to. If you don't get in this car, I'm telling the principal that you're skipping school, and we're going to have whatever the truancy people come get. Like, the threat that parents think is going to scare you.
I don't even know what that
knew what
means.
was up. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, go ahead. She goes. I go home, and I go into my room, and I, like, had the little plug-and-play games.
Yes!
So we had on the back of my door. At that point, me and my brother were in separate rooms. It was great. I had all the toys because I was the better kid. The plastic shoe rack that you hang on your door.
Yeah.
It was filled with plug-and-plays. Like probably 20 of them.
Amazing.
It was great.
Amazing.
I was plugging in the SpongeBob one, doing the little games, building a Krabby Patty. Dad walks in,
Played
and
that
he was
game.
he didn't mess around.
Yeah, sure.
And, he opened the door, and I just looked at him. I was like, uh-oh. This was one of the 5 times I got the belt. That got, obviously, the belt. Then I had to read books.
Even worse.
I was into the Harry Potter series, so I read an entire Harry Potter book within, I was grounded besides going to school for a whole week, I think, a whole school week. And I read, one of the whole Harry Potter books. Those are pretty big books, especially for an 8 or 9-year-old.
Absolutely.
I think it was, Order of the Phoenix. That was a pretty thick book.
All of those are bangers, yeah.
So
literally,
I have,
if you dropped it, it'd make a loud noise.
I've not only ran away. I had the paperback, so it didn't make a very loud noise.
Yeah, still.
We
It's a lot of
couldn't
pages.
afford the hardback. Long story.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ran away from home and skipped school, all to return home within an hour both times.
We've really unpacked some things here. This has already been great.
I try to be transparent.
No, absolutely. No, look, I love that. We've been talking to Hartzell last night. We said, look, if you don't enjoy the walk, sometimes a conversation just takes you on a walk. What's the point of doing any of this if I got to just sit down and just grill you about what you think about, baseball banning the shift?
Yeah.
We can talk about if we walk around and we get to baseball in the shift, then that's great. But if we walk around and we get to lightsabers and you're not really knowing all that much about Star Wars, but also the traumatic moments from your childhood that stick with you, that's great.
Those weren't traumatic. Those were great.
Signpost moments from your childhood.
Yes.
This is weird. You're saying third grade. That's what, 9? You said about 9 years old, something like that.
9.
I don't feel like I have that many memories from that early in my life. I feel like I start being able to remember some things at will from age 13 on. Is that weird?
I remember.
I don't think I have
quite
any
a bit.
repressions or anything.
My earliest memory, and are we gonna have to tell one more story before we talk about something substantial?
Totally up to you. I'm riding out here, man. We're on a walk, man. We're on a walk
My
together.
earliest memory, as we're totally diverting from.
What's more substantial than this?
Earliest memory, I was probably 2.5 or 3.
Really?
The only from that until 6 years old. So there's a 3.5 year gap there. But
all right, hold on. My quick timeout. Here's huddle up. Is this story gonna be sad, or is this story gonna be funny, or is this story gonna
be
okay?
It's
Great.
funny.
Okay, then we're good. All right, just want to check.
So earliest memory, me, grandma, and brother go down. My brother's 16 months apart from me. So when I was 2.5, he was either 1.5, or if I was 3, he was 1.5, something like that.
Sure.
We went down to the park. We took a walk. Grandma would take us on walks down to the park. When we went to visit Grandma, it was great, all that fun stuff. You know those little baby, toddler swing things where it has, for obviously a toddler where there's support and stuff like that for you to get at the park?
Like a park swing where it's it's that black flimsy plastic.
Yes.
You have got 2 leg holes
Yes.
and circle all the way around,
Yes.
like a strap in the middle, like a loincloth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a toga type thing.
Yeah.
Or like a loincloth.
It's a loincloth of a swing. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So, I was a chunky kid. This is not going to come to anyone's surprise that knows
I
me.
talked about Husky kid stuff yesterday.
I shopped at Husky for years.
Dude,
damn it.
The title of the podcast hour last night is something like Hartzell says stop the Huskies or something like that.
Yes.
Not for Husky kids. We can't be telling kids that they're Husky at age 6. That is too soon for me to be self-conscious about my thick thunder thighs.
Yes. So,
anyway,
speaking of thick thunder thighs.
Chunky kid.
I was born I weighed 9 pounds when I popped out of the womb. I was a big boy.
Pop might be a generous word
Yes.
then. Holy jeez.
I've been obese for my entire life. Or just big boned, whatever
big
you want to call
sure.
it. Yes.
You're a big dude, but I would not
Yes.
be like, that's an obese fellow over
Yes.
there.
This is the poster child of obesity. Now, I was just a big dude.
Right.
Big dude since I was born.
Right.
Got into
big
the
dude
swing.
since day one.
Yes.
Built different.
I was built different.
As a newborn.
Yes, as a newborn. I was just different. They knew who they were messing
I was
with.
built different the moment I stepped out of the womb. You heard me.
Yes.
Stepped.
So, anyway, I get into the swing just fine. I had my turn. It was probably 10 minutes. And Grandma's probably tired of pushing this, loaf of a child, of the infant or whatever. So she's like, all right, your brother's, getting kind of antsy. And James could walk at that point because he was, 1.5 or 2. He could walk just fine, relatively. He starts, getting really, really upset. And we're like, dude, okay, we're going to get Jordan out of here. It's your turn. She, grabs me to pull me out of the swing, and, nothing happens. And she's like...
The swing comes with you?
Yes. She's like, uh-oh. So then she, holds the swing with one hand, tries to grab. She, can't do it. she's like, okay. She grabs the swing, and like, have you heard of shaken baby syndrome?
No. What?
I was like 3. She starts shaking me really hard, and I'm like, dude,
That's
stop.
not. You didn't say dude to your grandma at age 3.
No, I started crying. Then my brother starts crying. For like 15 minutes, she's trying to get me out of this swing. Finally, this dude pops up, probably like 15, 16 years old, the way she describes it. I wasn't paying attention. Brother crying, me crying, everyone's wailing, she's crying. She's like, I don't know what to do. The kid helps get me out. This was like a 15, 20-minute endeavor in a public park. I wish I remembered which one it was. Me stuck in this damn baby swing, brother just bawling. She didn't even give him a turn. She got
like,
me
"We
out
gotta
of the
go."
swing and was like, guys, we're heading back.
We're done.
And to this day, he has not forgiven her for that. Every time we have a family gathering and that story comes up, he's like, you still never gave me a turn because Jordan's big you-know-what got stuck in the frickin' baby swing because he was oversized and overage and never got out until they almost called the fire department to cut me out of the darn swing.
Which, by the way, can I say this about the fire department? This is not a hot take on the fire department. Fire department, great organization. Glad we got a fire department. We don't need to be calling them for that. We don't need to call the fire department to get a kid out of a swing.
They would have sliced me in half.
Anybody? They wouldn't have done it with. They would have done it with one of the axes they used to get open a closed door. You didn't need the fire department. You needed somebody with a pair of heavy duty scissors. You needed somebody with some long
industrial size scissors,
or just like a tub of Vaseline to help get this chunky kid out of a baby
needed
swing.
Another set of hands.
That's right.
The kid came, but like obviously, little brother who's 1.5 can't even reach up there to get me or help.
Meanwhile, he's pissed. You know, he can't.
He's just
so
like
mad
throwing the little wood chips and stuff all over the place, just throwing a fit.
Wow.
That's my earliest memory in my life is being stuck in that stupid swing.
Wow, that is incredible. And now I will now never forget what your earliest memory is. I love the idea. Are you really?
The theme here is me being a threat to myself. And
That's right.
Friend of the program, Todd Lebo, has said all week.
We've got a parade of stars
Yes.
here at the Big 12 tournament.
Friend of the program, Todd Lebo, friend of the organization, said we went and did like a K-State type media type deal, whatever. On the way back, I'm on my phone. Lebo says, you better put that away, dude. You're a threat to yourself. Like no one else. I'm not worried about cars hitting you. I'm not worried about people running into you. Dude, you need to chill out and make sure you don't hurt yourself. And that there's never been a truer statement than that I've ever heard.
Wow. Yeah, you're a menace to society, but
only
society
myself.
is yourself. You would never get anybody else's way on anything, but for yourself, but some people have that issue, man. You got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I got to choose me.
Just clumsy.
You got to, and you also just got to keep your feet on the ground. Also, that's the other theme is that if it's falling or if it swings. Okay, here's my last follow-up question on that, and then I'm going to get 5 minutes of you to talk about the AFC West. It's going to be hilarious. Have you returned, maybe not recently, but did you return to swings? I'm assuming you did not return to the baby-sized swings. Did you ever return to just a normal park swing after that?
I was probably on a park swing within the past 12 months, honestly.
Really?
You're just learning all sorts of stuff about me.
I thought I knew you pretty well. I don't know anything.
Thanksgiving weekend, I think. Yeah. Grandma lives right by a park. And we're all adult grown. No one is young in the family anymore. But she has a basketball slab like down the street at the park. So we went and played basketball. And there's a swing set there. And I was like, I want to get on the swing. And I did the little like self-pumping on the swing. And I didn't need anyone to push me. And it was great. I felt like a kid again. Then like I looked around and saw all the like stupid playground equipment and said, I'm going to go play basketball now because this is kind of weird.
You were like, I feel like a kid again. As you're surrounded by a bunch of 6, 7, and 8-year-olds. Like, I am a kid currently.
No. Yeah, luckily it was an empty playground.
That does change the vibe.
Yes.
Well, now hold on. No, okay, let's have this conversation real quick.
Let's unpack more.
What's the cutoff? What's the cutoff where if you saw somebody at a certain age swinging on an empty play set, either they're the only one there.
Well, I had like my family with me, like a few family members.
I think that's also better. I think if
you're
totally
just
alone,
like if I literally found a random park and like showed
dark
up
out, there's one spot, there's one street light over
like,
top of you,
giggling and swinging, that would be so freaking weird.
in full clown makeup, just sitting there swinging, just singing to yourself.
That's different, and that's very weird.
Pop goes the weasel, just singing that as your that I would imagine that I was about to be killed.
Yeah,
that would be. Are you afraid of clowns?
I'm not.
Okay, me neither. Just curious.
I'm afraid of pigeons, and that's it.
We have talked about that. That one's not a new one. So, shockingly, that's not a new one for me.
Pigeons in the wrath of Todd Lebo.
Well, that's like being afraid of God. Like that's a fear.
Exactly.
That's the fear of a higher power.
Something that you never think you'll like see until the end, but like
that's
you,
right.
you don't want to find out.
If Lebo ever yelled at me, I think I would cry.
Yeah.
I think I would begin to tear up.
Yep.
I would be afraid of that. It's just because again, it's something you think that's never going to happen, and then all of a
And
sudden,
it
bam!
Yeah, that'd be a sad day.
And now here's a box full of pigeons. That would have been.
Yeah.
What if one of those? If that box full of koozies over there turned into a box full of pigeons, and they just filled up this little studio we're in?
I haven't encountered a pigeon in a long time, but that's another story for another day. Let's talk AFC West. How about that? I'm not afraid of the AFC West at all.
Tell me that. I saw a spicy tweet from you. You're quote tweeting our friend Connor Christofferson. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but Jordan also is a part of ArrowheadReport.com. You're tweeting about some Chiefs stuff, as is Connor, and you were saying, look, I do think actually you don't want. Nobody is saying that the Chiefs should change their offseason strategy based off of this. That would probably mean your strategy wasn't that good. But you get not only Russell Wilson, but now we're talking about, oh, bleep, that Chargers pass rush. Khalil Mack is there now. You get Bosa and Khalil Mack coming off opposite edges. That is legitimately spooky. So we're talking about 4 games a year in the division that just got a little scarier. Tell me why you're not afraid of that, if that is true, or if that was just a pigeon translation.
It was just a translation.
Okay.
I think on the contrary here, people who root for the Chiefs need to calm it a little bit. I get that Patrick Mahomes is great. I get that Andy Reid is great. I get that Brett Veach is really good at his job. The Broncos, as of right now, are markedly better than they were last week. The Chargers are at least a little bit better than they were last week. Who knows what the Raiders are going to do with Josh McDaniels? The Chiefs, if they lost these free agents, are a markedly worse football team. I'm not trying to say that losing Charvarius Ward, Tyrann Mathieu is going to make or break the Chiefs or whatever. They can replace them in the draft. As of right now, the Chiefs would probably still be the favorites in the AFC West unless you watch the national shows that pick the Chargers every single year for the past 10 years.
Right.
The Chiefs are not invincible. We saw it in the AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes is not invincible. He is not prone to bad games or bad halves, but it is proven now that he can single-handedly lose you a game because that was on him.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to.
It was on Eric Bieniemy.
It was in his contract that Mahomes would play bad.
Exactly.
Yes. The Broncos are better. I think they're a playoff team now.
It's in Eric Bieniemy's new contract that the Broncos had to trade for Russell Wilson, which is such a silly thing for him to put in, but he's built different.
And Khalil Mack has to be the second best pass rusher on his own team. That is scary.
Crazy. Well, and so here's the other thing. I mean, you say that the Chiefs should probably be the favorites in the AFC West still, and again, the offseason is going to impact that.
Yes.
If they let every good player they have walk and then nobody else gets actually brought back in for anything meaningful, then it's different. But let's say they have a generally good but not game-changing offseason or good but not disastrous offseason. The thing for me that I keep going back to is the Chiefs now have 6 games a year against 2 teams with real quarterbacks and real rosters around them, and then a playoff team who is clearly looked at as the 4th team in this division.
And a first-place schedule.
That's also and a first-place schedule.
Yeah.
And then you can look around the rest of the AFC. The North, I think, will beat each other up a little bit. I wonder about the ceilings of all of those teams. The South will beat each other up a little bit because I really wonder about the floor and ceilings of a bunch of those teams. The Buffalo Bills get 6 games. 2 against Mac Jones, 2 against Zach Wilson, and 2 against a still TBD Tua Tagovailoa. What's the future of this Dolphins team sort of deal? Maybe they're good, maybe they're not that good. The Bills should, I think in my mind, be the favorite for the 1 seed in the AFC. Not because I think they're better than the Chiefs are right now, but because I think their path got that much easier. Or at least their path hasn't gotten harder, and the Chiefs definitely has.
If you held a gun or a pigeon to my head right now and told me to pick one team to get to the Super Bowl in the AFC next season.
Let's make it the pigeon.
If you held a pigeon in my head and it was chirping or whatever pigeons do, I try not to find out. I'd pick the Bills to get to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. And people that hear that are going to get ticked off, and it's not by a landslide. I frankly don't care. The Chiefs, they left a sour taste in my mouth from the AFC Championship game.
Sure.
Until they fix what they need to fix, the Bills aren't losing a ton. And the Bills were also probably the best team in the AFC last year. I don't care about the best team does not always get to the Super Bowl, let alone win the Super Bowl. That's one of the things with Denver. People are saying, oh, well, even if Denver makes the playoffs, they're not going to do anything. I'm like, if Russell Wilson has 3 good games, they can get to the Super Bowl. If Justin Herbert with the Chargers you just have to get there, and it's not like an Alex Smith Chiefs thing where you get there and you know what's going to happen. If you have the good to great to elite quarterback and you have a good team and you have an injury on the other side or two, a team that chokes a game away, stuff can happen. The Bills are best built to withstand that. The Bills have the highest floor, I think, out of those teams. I'd pick the Bills on March 10th to get to the Super Bowl.
Also being March 10th, we're going to have some tampering windows opening. We're going to have some free agency. I don't know if we're going to end up doing radio together before the next wave of news happens, specifically regarding the Chiefs. So give me kind of a last push off here. You look at the Chiefs' big pending free agents. Obviously, Orlando Brown's gotten the franchise tag, not any surprises whatsoever. But you've got Tyrann Mathieu and Charvarius Ward up in the air. And then you have some other guys who are hitting the market, Landon Collins, plus guys that will continue to hit the market, moves the Chiefs could make with pending free agents, their own and others. Give me your kind of big picture view. Here's what I'm worried about. Here's what I'm expecting.
I'm worried about the Charvarius Ward market. I think he's going to price himself out of the Chiefs' range, and I think that's a good thing for him.
It's great for him, sure.
But the Chiefs also can't afford to pay too much for a guy that, if you need safety help over the top and you're not a true like Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard type cornerback, you don't deserve that contract. And he might get something close, and it's not – people always say, oh, the highest paid corner. It's the most recently highest paid.
Yep.
The market this year is going to reset.
Yep.
Tyrann Mathieu, I'm interested, not afraid, I'm intrigued about what his market's going to be. The Ian Rappaport thing, man, it was very, very weird.
It was weird.
That he said, oh, probably double digits. I was like, oh, I expected him to say probably 18 to 20 million bucks or 16 to 18 or whatever. If it's anything less than 15, the Chiefs need to be all over that. And I'm not saying Tyrann Mathieu's an elite player. I don't think he is anymore. I think he's still good, and there's value in having the leadership and the wherewithal and all that stuff, the know-how. If it's 12, 13 million bucks for 3 years, the Chiefs need to do that, put an opt-out after 2 years where they can escape the deal, make him happy, make something happen, because that's a lot easier than drafting a rookie, putting him out there with a contract year, Juan Thornhill, and inevitably Dan Sorensen. It's going to be interesting. The Tyrann Mathieu, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The Tyrann Mathieu market's something I'm watching.
You did say Tyrann Mathieu's not an elite player anymore, so he will be sending a big box of pigeons to your house, but that's something you can deal with whenever you get home. Maybe it'll be in the attic. Oh, man, what if your attic ends up being full of pigeons?
I don't open it. So.
That's true. As long as they fly back out, however they got in, then it's no big deal. You can follow him on Twitter at Footnoted. You can see him falling off stages, making videos, recording all sorts of things, documenting the experience across everything here at Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB. You can also see his work all across the Sports Radio 810 socials at Sports Radio 810, anywhere you want to get social media content from 810. Plus, his work on arrowheadreport.com. Jordan, also, we'll be talking again on Sunday, our Selection Sunday show. We're going to get Jordan to shift gears into the college basketball world, and I think you're going to be riding shotgun for some of that. I'll be in the big chair. We'll put you in the second chair, and we'll talk about a little bit of college hoops that we didn't get to tonight. Probably fewer pigeons, probably more college basketball.
I'm extremely excited for that. It's going to be a great time.
Jordan Foote, follow him on Twitter at Footnoted. More Almost Entirely Sports live from Power and Light whenever we come back.
At JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, at Not That Rudy, at Sports Radio 810. Just do it already.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 913-243-3200. That's 913-243-3200. 913-243-3200. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
Why do I drive with
You're
Z-Trip?
listening.
Because I have a family and need a flexible schedule.
Why do I drive with Z-Trip? Because I get paid daily.
Why do I drive with Z-Trip?
Because Z-Trip has a real team to help me succeed.
Why do I drive with Z-Trip? Because I want to drive their car and not worry about maintenance.
We drive through Z-Trip because who you drive for matters.
Apply today at ztrip.com. That's ztrip.com. Get on the road to success.
Robert Brogdon's Olathe Kia has extended their 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you're looking to buy a new vehicle like the 2022 Kia Telluride, Seltos, or Sportage, buy from Brogdon. If you don't love it, return it, no matter what the mileage, and they'll refund you 100% of the purchase price. But if you do love it, you've got a great vehicle with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Drive with confidence in a new Kia. Shop OlatheKia.com or stop by. Just a short drive from I-35. Customer must register vehicle. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Are you looking for a career change? Let Sports Radio 810 help you with your search. Many local companies are hiring right now, and there's never been a better time to check those opportunities out. Go to 810WHB.com and click on the Community tab and search Job Connections. Great companies in our community need you right now. Companies like Hy-Vee, Bickermer Electric, and Herzog. So check it out at 810WHB.com, 810 Job Connections, connecting you with your next career.
Break out your green and give it cheer. St. Patty's Day is almost here. Start your celebration at Hy-Vee's Sip of the Irish Wine and Spirit Sale. Save some green on your favorite brands like Sons of Irish Whiskey, Guinness, Boulevard Irish Ale, and more. Earn 25 cents per gallon on your Fuel Saver card with a $50 purchase of wine, beer, seltzer, or spirits. Don't miss the Sip of the Irish Sale, Thursday through Sunday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee stores. Product or promotion availability differs by location and state. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
Hey, Kansas.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports
Let me ask you a question. Come postseason time, who do you want? You want Blake Griffin or you want Melo? Blake Griffin.
with Joshua Brisco
You want Blake Griffin over Carmelo Anthony?
on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We're still out here live at the Power and Light District 4 Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB. And again, I have to say thanks to all of our sponsors who have helped make all of this happen. Whataburger, opening new locations throughout the Kansas City area. Gutter Cover KC, they've got you covered. Get it? Because they cover gutters. You can get more from them at guttercoverkc.com. By X Golf Leewood, located on the north side of Town Center Plaza Shopping Center, bringing the world's best golf simulator experience to you. Brought to you by Core First Bank, where a winning game plan doesn't just magically happen. Basketball, your own business, doesn't matter. You need a team you can count on. Core First Bank, member FDIC. Of course, our friends at CBD American Shaman, because everything is better with the feather, and Miller Lite. Here at Miller Lite Fan Fest, going through the weekend here at the Power and Light District, pep rallies, watch parties, prizes, giveaways, and maybe best of all, Dani Welniak. She's out here, and she's actually in our little studio here in the McFadden's studio. We're warming up. We're downright toasty in here. We're having a great time. It's been a day, you know. There's snow on the ground and falling from the sky and all over the place.
It's been a day and a night.
It's been a day and a night and a week and a month, but we're here now. Little March Madness.
And 2 years.
And, you know, lots of time. But it does feel good
And a
to be
pandemic.
back out here, right? And good point, Rudy. It's just been a stretch. It's been a stretch for all of us. But it has been awesome to be back out here and to be able to see people again and, get to experience some of the fun of packed bars, full stadiums, and, a little bit of snow. But who needs all 10 toes? Why do we need 10 toes? I get by with 7 easily. We'll see how many toes Dani Welniak needs to do her job. I don't know. We'll talk to Dani whenever we come back. That was a weird segue.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Geico presents Motorcycle Sounds. If you hear this, and within 15 seconds, you already know that it's a 6-speed cruiser with a wheelbase of 120 inches, a V-twin 2-cylinder engine with a max torque of 110 foot-pounds, a bright yellow body, black upholstery, chromed-out wheels, a nice clean fairing, and a big dresser in the back ready to tour, Well, then you probably ride a motorcycle. So you probably know that Geico could save you even more when you bundle motorcycle with your home or car insurance. Geico Motorcycle. Save even more when you bundle.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired their personal trainer as a caterer.
All right, folks, let's keep this line moving. You there with the tongs. Picking up one Duchess potato at a time will not cut it at my catering table. Drop and give me 50.
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Okay, this is what we call the wild mushroom and asparagus dip, and press. Come on, let's get those plates above your heads.
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
Do you have a list of reasons you're not getting screened for colorectal cancer? You think it can't happen to you, or maybe you've heard negative things about the test? Colorectal cancer is the third leading cause of cancer death in the U.S. when men and women are combined, but it can be prevented or found at an early stage. If you're 45 or older, learn more about the screening options available to you, including simple take-home tests. Call your doctor about getting screened today and visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Kansas City's hometown sports station. Sports Radio 810 WHB Kansas City.
Here are KU coach Bill Self and Dan Chandler of the Salty Iguana Mexican Restaurant.
Coach, I know you love the family fun and great values at the Salty Iguana. What about the food?
Spank, you know we can both put down some iguana dip. I like the Prairie Village burrito, and as many as I bought from you, it ought to be called the Bill Self burrito.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to walk around the Big 12 being called Burrito Bill.
No worse than being called Spank. Spank.
Enjoy the best happy hour in town from 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays at the Salty Iguana. And check out the Salty Iguana website, saltyiguana.com.
This is Larry Ryan at Ryan Lawn and Tree. Those local Ryan pros and the clean red trucks are employee owners, recruited from the best college horticultural programs in the country. They want to make your lawn the best looking lawn on the block. Schedule your free estimate at ryanlawn.com.
When you have trouble sleeping, it's tough. When kids have trouble sleeping,
Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, just one more story?
for nights like this, try Vicks Pure Z's Kids. Our great-tasting gummies are specially formulated for kids with a unique blend of botanicals and a low dose of melatonin to support their natural sleep cycle. Best of all, they're drug-free and non-habit forming. Help your child fall asleep naturally with Pure Z's Kids Gummies. Consult with a doctor before use. For ages 4 and up.
If you love golf and are between the ages of 18 and 40, Tiffany Green's Golf Club has the perfect plan for you. Tiffany Green's Young Professional plans are very affordable, and the monthly payment option makes it easy for you to enjoy every round with your friends. Starting at just $150 a month, the Young Professional plans give you unlimited golf with card and practice range throughout the season. Check out TiffanyGreensGolf.com or call 816-880-9600 to get signed up today.
Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here for Window Nation. Winter is almost in our rearview mirror. And in a few weeks, when we're feeling the rush of spring air arriving, Window Nation will be feeling the rush of homeowners, calling for new replacement windows. If you call now and beat the rush, you'll get special spring savings, enjoy energy savings sooner, all while upgrading the look and feel of your home. Call or visit windownation.com today and get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy. Plus, you'll make no down payment, no payments, and pay no interest for 24 months. And what makes the deal more amazing is your Window Nation windows are specifically designed for our climate. With Window Nation windows, you get custom crafted quality, ultra Energy Star windows installed from installers who have installed over 1 million windows. I'd say yes. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit, plus no payments for 2 full years. Call 866-90-NATION or online at windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or windownation.com and tell them SSJ sent you.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
I'm ready for Tickle Me Yoda for sure.
Tickle Me Yoda, it's on.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
No memory of that at all. What was
Best part of that, though,
from?
is that I now have not a Tickle Me Yoda exactly, but a Baby Yoda for my baby that you touch the head / tickle it, and it erupts into laughter. So we were like foreshadowing. We knew something was going to happen, and it did.
That had to be pre-Baby Yoda probably, right?
That was pre-Baby Yoda.
So we absolutely jumped the beginning of that. My mom bought me a little 1.5 foot tall Baby Yoda that's got these big glass eyes that Renee hates. So for a while I would just put it around the house so she would just have to walk up on it. And then She got me I've really been on a Baby Yoda kick, apparently. It's just gifts from my mom. It's great.
No judgment.
It's a small plastic Baby Yoda that is also, do you ever have a Bop It?
Oh,
Twist
who
it,
didn't have a
pull
Bop
it,
It?
Bop it.
Flick it.
It's that, but a Baby Yoda. So it's like twist it, and you twist its neck in this ghoulish fashion. But I, like, the second time I did it, I got to 100. That was as high as the score would let you go. And then the voice of the Mandalorian is like, "You've done it. Congratulations." Which actually sounded pretty much exactly like what I just did.
That's pretty impressive,
So
I'm not going to lie.
I feel like my future in voice acting is officially here. That's Dani Welniak. You probably got that.
Hi,
I teased
guys.
it last segment, but I don't know. Maybe if you jumped in at the beginning of the hour. Dani, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to be here. My mouth and brain are frozen, obviously.
Yes.
Because of everything else going around right now. But it really does actually feel kind of nice to be back and, like, seeing people again.
I know. It's like I'm seeing all of these people that it's taken multiple years to see, but we feel like we're just catching up right where we left off because, I mean, let's be honest, we lost a couple years there.
Yeah.
And now we're all back in at it. Friendships are rekindled, and excitement surrounding the Big 12 tournament is alive again. And I am just so excited. You know what? It's cold outside. We've had some miserable live shots because we've been literally out in the sub-zero temperatures for hours on end trying to bring you guys the latest news from the Big 12 tournament, from KU, K-State, Bruce Weber, all that good stuff that's been going on, KU domination. But it is definitely taken a toll on my face, my nose, and my fingers.
Yeah, I don't expect to ever feel my nose or toes again.
No.
I just think, you know what? As long as they're still attached, it's fine. The nose is pretty much cosmetic. Voldemort could probably still breathe and smell, I think. And my toes, no one can even see them, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. They're in there somewhere. Did you ever go, like, to a summer camp or anything? I was going to say this feels like a summer camp or, like, going back to school after, like, a summer away or something, but I was homeschooled, never went to a summer camp, so I'm really I'm basing that off of, like, movies, basically.
You didn't go to a summer camp?
Never went to a summer camp,
Wow.
really.
Okay, so, I did the usual, like, athletic summer camps, but then I also did zoo camp.
The usual for you. Okay, let's talk about zoo camp. Zoo camp's great. All right, fantastic. We're back.
Here we
We're
go.
back. Yes, we're back.
But
Buckle up,
Reel
everybody.
you right back
What
in.
is zoo camp?
Zoo
We've
camp.
talked about
Okay,
plenty
so
of zoo things with you.
yes, and I'm obviously a very animal, active person. I love everything animals. So when I was a kid, I wanted to work in a zoo. Ended up getting a minor in zoology. Hence why we have all of this beautiful invertebrate zoology, insect love. Okay,
good.
so long story short.
There-
Anyways,
there are definitely people who have found this show for the first time since the last time we did like a full in-person
exactly. I
segment
have
or anything.
no clue what I just
so
talked about.
confused. Makes
Yes.
me so happy.
What is going on with this woman right now? Okay, long story short, I love animals, all types of animals, small, big animals, whatever. So in high school, I decided that I was going to do a zoo camp and see what it would be like to work at a zoo. And so we stayed at the Fort Worth Zoo for a week. And you stayed in these little, like, cabins that they had out there at the zoo. And you took care of different animals each day. Honestly, now in hindsight, I look back and basically we were just like zoo interns and we scoop poop the whole time. But I learned a lot about different animal poops. And, I mean, what more do you need to know in life, right?
I don't know if we can have another recurring bit of animal facts with you, but, I mean, do you remember anything particularly interesting about any type of animal poop?
Not really.
Okay, that's
Just,
fine.
Yeah.
That's probably for the
different
best.
smells, I guess, which is not something that you can relay in real time.
I mean, I feel... I'm like, well, I mean...
Can I
if
verbally
you- was
describe
there-
the smell of elephant dung?
Yeah, I was gonna say, does one of those stick with you? If you think about it, go, you know what, that one really did give me some trouble.
I guess maybe elephant dung is very sweet and pungent, but also
All right,
very
thanks for being here,
intense.
Danny. I'm gonna go ahead and kick you back out into the cold. I can't.
Sorry, I'm done.
The idea that
Yeah.
any dung smells sweet was weirdly visceral. I had a visceral reaction that I wasn't really expecting.
I'm so sorry I went down that road.
Wow, that is no, that's okay. So we like to challenge people on this show sometimes to really think.
And I'm here to make you feel uncomfortable.
That's what I mean. At this point, I feel like
It's my job.
everybody's experienced that. Wow, that's horrifying.
Sorry.
Rudy,
not
are you guys
sorry.
okay? We have
Everybody good?
No,
intern
I'm-
Adele back
I'm
in the
great.
sta- How does Adele feel about? Adele hasn't met Danny. You know, this is Adele's first point of reference for Dani Welniak
Yeah.
on this show.
I told her how Dani always has. It's great because she always has bug facts. She's always prepared. Like I was like, she's great.
And then sometimes it's elephant dung facts,
Well,
and that
you
really
know,
does challenge.
that did throw a wrench in there. It was a curveball, right? What
But we
I wasn't
tie
ready
it in
for
with
it.
dung beetles.
And here we are.
Utilize elephant poop for not only food but also habitat. So there you go. Middle of the show.
Middle of the show, bug fact.
Middle of the show, bug fact.
Early
There you go.
segment bug fact.
Tie in.
Incredible.
Let's go.
So, you mentioned Tickle Me Yoda basically exists now in your life as a toy for your wonderful child.
Yes.
I want to know about this point of Dani Welniak mom life. Have you trained? Have you yet? Can you train a baby? I feel like you would teach a child to train an animal, but I said train. Have you gotten? How old?
She's about a year and a half. So she'll be a year and a half next month.
That was so long ago that you didn't have a baby.
I know.
What a weird year and a half for a baby to be born and existing.
I honestly, if you had told me to guess, I think I would have guessed like 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah, it feels like it was like 3 or 4 years ago to me.
I mean, I guess if 2020 felt that long for you, then
No,
yeah.
so like my niece turns, my youngest niece turns 1 tomorrow, and so it's just like in my head they were not that close to the same age.
Yeah. So here's the crazy thing too. If we reminisce on 2020 and what happened, the last 2 times that we were here, and when the world shut down, I was actually pregnant at that time and nobody knew.
Oh wow!
And so I look back in that and nobody knew I was pregnant. The world shut down, and then all of a sudden we come back into existence, and Dani has a baby, and nobody knew that I was pregnant.
And full baby.
A full baby. Where did this come from? So yeah, that year and a half has been really weird because now I'm seeing all you guys, and you're like, wow, you're like a real mom now.
Yeah, you've been doing it for now a year and a half. I knew my point of reference. Was that at one point at Chiefs press conferences, I pulled up behind a car and it had a sticker on it that said baby on board, and there was a baby on a surfboard.
Yes.
And then I was like, Dani, that's your car, right? And you're like, yeah, of course, that's my car. Who else would have that sticker? And I was like, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that I still know who you are as a person. But have you trained her to climb any trees yet? Can she actually surf? I feel like you are going to have a spear-throwing baby very shortly. I don't know if a year and a half is too soon. I have no point of reference for what a baby can do at 1.5 years old.
Have I given her a spear yet? No.
Okay.
Has she ended up with a knife? Absolutely.
Okay.
So
working on my way up.
We know that she's pretty good at being ambidextrous at this point.
Okay.
She can throw really well. Her favorite word is ball. Would you expect anything different?
Incredible.
No. She loves basketball, so I hope that she gets a little bit of height from her dad because she's not getting it from me. She's going to have to shoot threes if she wants to play that sport. And she's obsessed with basketballs right now. I'm trying to force the football into her hand. Yeah. She digs it, but not as much as the basketball. So we're kind of working on the training in that aspect.
Footballs are weird because they, you drop them and they bounce in funny directions. They're harder to hold or whatever. They're not quite symmetrical. Basketball seems like a good year-and-a-half-old baby sort of jumping off point.
Correct.
Can you work? Is there a way to work on a baby's vertical? I know because not just height, but
Yes.
how are her hip flexors?
She jumps. She likes to jump. She will literally, her and Dad in the kitchen will literally work on squats and jumping. And she's the cutest thing because this is probably too much information. But when Dad goes to work out in our little home gym, we have these little 5-pound weights that she'll go down to, and she will literally make this noise as she's lifting the weight. She will squat. She will grab this little 5-pound weight, and she'll go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are adorable.
The cutest thing in the
and
world.
you have been trained by your father to lift weights.
And
she's a year and a half.
She's just like, well, this
Nuts.
is Dad does this, Mom does this. Yeah. I might as well. I'm gonna.
This is the noise that they make, so I'm gonna do this.
I'm just imagining the full puffy cheeks of. I don't know that that's your good breathing. You're exhaling on the going down. I don't know if that's where you're supposed to breathe. It doesn't matter. The sound is what matters because that's all that she knows. That's fabulous.
Exactly.
Cannot wait for her to just be winning a medal in something, trophy in something that'll happen very
even
very
if it's
soon.
even if she wants to play the flute or something, maybe the piccolo, I'm totally cool with that too.
But she's going to do it better than Jimmy or Ginny or Jeffy.
We are not here for participation trophies.
No! You're going to be the best piccolo player this side of the Mississippi. Now give me 5 reps of the piccolo. I don't know. She's either going to be really athletic or really ready for a woodwind, of some sort. I think that's incredible.
She's clearly got good lungs, so we're good with that.
So the of the various sports things that we can talk about, there's lots of sports things actually going on.
Oh my gosh, today's been nuts.
It's been insane. We last night. You basically heard Bruce Weber's resignation press conference. Basically, he knew it was coming. I know.
Right in the heart, man.
I know. It actually, very interesting.
Yeah,
some of it very
good.
eye-opening about where he's at. And then today, I feel like it maybe hinged a little bit towards the weird. Some of the vibes of social media is making it hard to recruit to Manhattan. I don't know. I don't know.
No, that was definitely
seemed a little weird to me, right? The hair explanation I thought was great because
Brilliant.
he does look like a cartoon scientist came to life. And so that I do think, him having an explanation of, this is actually like an FBI subtweet the whole time, kind of interesting. So that story to me, I think, maybe more interesting than the actual results of the games, at least so far. Kind of an interesting scenario both for K-State, for Bruce Weber, for all of us around here having this happen around the tournament. What have you seen from all of that?
Well, I think I got a little bit choked up last night, too, because Bruce Weber literally, as you guys have probably seen at this point, literally had tears down his face. And both of the players were just kind of like, oh, boy, this is happening, all right?
That's a tough spot for the players
we're
there.
We're just going to let this happen. So I totally agree with you. I love the fact that he basically was throwing shade at different things, but also trying to be classy in the process, because he very much came out and was like, his wife said, hey, don't retire. You're not retiring. That's not an option. You're going to go somewhere else, and you're going to coach somewhere else, or at least teach somewhere else, because that's all you know. And so for him to come out and kind of say stuff without burning too many bridges, I thought was really, really revealing. But I've told people all day, it's a really weird place for me mentally, because I've been in this industry now for 10 years, and I've been in Dodge City, I've been in Wichita, I've been here in Kansas City, I've covered the Big 12 the entire time. And I've only known Bill Self at KU and Bruce Weber at K-State, which is crazy that he's been there for 10 years. And so this new era of now Manhattan basketball is going to be very interesting for me, and I didn't think I was going to be this emotional about it, but it's definitely hit me in my soft spot, hit me in my heart a little bit. Because there is so much that goes into that, because he did it the right way. He hasn't been, associated with cheating and all that stuff, and just the way that he handles a lot of the FBI investigation, and saying that he's on the ethics board, and that they promised him this, and they promised the guys who weren't cheating that these guys would get caught, and they haven't been caught. And I totally dig the hair, though, by the way. I think it's great. Yeah, allow that to grow out. It's wonderful.
Yeah, whatever he does next, I hope the hair never gets cut.
No,
I hope it's just, he looks like an old wizard at some point.
Keep it. It flows really nicely, even if it's gray and silver. It looks great, Bruce Weber. But I did think it was interesting, because all day we've been doing these reports. Our Neil Jones is fantastic about digging up alumni and talking to those guys, and he actually brought up the name Brad Underwood and thinks that would be a really good fit in Manhattan, and might be someone who could be interested because of his ties there. Now, I'm an Oklahoma State alum, so I'm a little bit burned by that bridge.
Right.
But I do think that I like the local tie, being from there, playing there, all that kind of stuff, and I think that would make a good fit.
You mentioned all of the ethics committee and the kind of the shade towards the FBI thing, and this is something that I've now been thinking about more since we played some of that audio back late last night. I very much hear and sympathize with that from his perspective of he is a guy, you can go through and talk about the great coaches K-State's had, and then the ones that didn't win titles, conference championships. He's like, well, here's what we did. That's a man with some pride. He also comes off, I think, a little bit bitter, might be a negative sounding word. I don't mean for it to. He's got some gripes, you know what I mean?
Right, yes. But I'd be bitter, too, if I'm in that situation.
100%.
So
100%. Justified bitterness.
Correct.
The thing that I caught myself thinking about last night is he sounds like, from everything we know, went about it the right way, building and establishing and winning with his program.
Yeah.
But whenever you are doing it the right way and the results aren't there, it buys you nothing.
Correct.
Which is just sort of a wild thing to realize about maybe all of sports, certainly college sports. If you cheat and win and get caught, you're probably going to get punished. If you cheat and lose, you're definitely out. But if you do it the right way and you aren't actually in the tournament every year, eventually the leash is going to get pulled back on you. And I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if there's a way of fixing that in college sports. It's something I've just been thinking about the last 24 hours.
It's so deep, because you don't know. And there's so many different levels of, doing it the right way versus, doing it the wrong way and getting caught, like Oklahoma State. And now, obviously, they're not up here. The men's team isn't up here because they have a postseason ban, because they felt like even though they got caught the right way.
Yes.
So, Mike Boynton and his tearful apology / not apology / hey, everybody who's getting in trouble, don't cooperate with the NCAA, because this is what's going to happen to you. You're going to get punished without question. And so then you've got, the other teams who are trying to go about it in a different direction and not go through the NCAA, go about it the government way. And it's just there's so many different layers to it that what even is the right way anymore is such a gray area and so construed in different ways, because if you're winning but you're not technically doing it the right way, you're still doing it right because you're winning.
Right.
So I am in a very weird place with that. My mentality is very in that gray area, because you do need to win. You can't live in mediocrity forever, and obviously that's kind of where Bruce Weber ended up, in that he had the Elite Eight run. He had the Big 12 championships in a place where it's very difficult to recruit. But now you're moving into this new era of the transfer portal and all sorts of different kinds of recruiting and NIL, and you have to evolve and adjust. And that has also created more gray area for what's right and what's wrong.
You mentioned the mediocrity, and you can't live in the mediocrity. I want to hear what you think about the AFC West and what's been happening these last few days. Because if you want to find a way to get me ready to talk about any particular sports thing, the Broncos trade for Russell Wilson. Obviously, we are in quarterback heaven in this division. I mean, it's unbelievable. Where Derek Carr, who I think at this point is actually underrated / overhated, right? Like I think that he actually deserves a little more credit than he generally gets.
Yeah.
Bum in this division. Bum. And I kind of like Derek Carr a little bit. And he's a scrub because you have Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson. And then today the Chargers say, actually, we're not done yet. We're going to actually go ahead and pair Joey Bosa with Khalil Mack. You guys remember Khalil Mack used to play in this division and destroyed everyone all the time, then went very good in the Bears? Well, he's back now. And, I mean, look, I don't think the Chiefs ought to be, like, changing any of their offseason plans because I'd like to think they had better plans, that wouldn't have gotten changed by one more good quarterback and another good pass rusher. But how much fun is this football season going to be if you don't personally have a ton emotionally invested in the Chiefs? And if you do, maybe it's scary.
I am so excited. I can't even explain it in words, but everything that you just said there is on point. And I love the fact that
Rudy, can we cut that? Thank you.
He is genius right here.
Got it.
Brisco is a genius.
Mark it.
Okay.
And good. Okay, thanks.
Good.
I trashed it. It's gone forever.
He dumped it. It didn't even make it over the air. No one else heard that.
No one heard it. I think that obviously the arms race in the AFC West just makes it an absolute blast now. Yeah. But I think Andy Reid said something very interesting a couple of years ago. He said that after they won the Super Bowl, he said it's really easy to climb the ladder. It's more difficult to actually sustain that and to stay there. And so when you're the Chiefs and you're in that situation, you've climbed the ladder. You won the Super Bowl. You got that star quarterback, the MVP, the guy who's going to be your franchise quarterback forever. You built that, revamped that defense, got the guys that are going to be really, really good and help you win championships. And now all these other teams are having to play catch up. So now it's even tougher for the Chiefs because all of these other teams can make moves to be better. And that's exactly what they're doing. But the Chiefs have to figure out, well, how do we sustain what we're doing, which is obviously the best, but now we've got to be even better than the best. And how do you do that?
I don't know
either.
You tell me. Because that's the thing that you would do, that any NFL team obviously has to do. You've got to get the quarterback right.
Right.
It is impossible. And what a right quarterback means can be any number of things. The Bengals and Rams are two very funny, very different examples of how they did it with guys that, like, if we're going to be real honest, like, I don't think either of them are any of the 5 or 7 maybe best quarterbacks in football, and they're both in the Super Bowl. But they're have accomplished that goal in different ways, and neither one of them did it with a bum at quarterback, obviously. But now, you're the Chiefs. You could not get the quarterback position more right. The only thing you could have done better is to continue to have Patrick Mahomes on a rookie contract, which eventually was going to run out. And you're at a point now also where it feels like it's a real turning point for them. This offseason is going to be enormous, where it feels like the current of the offseason is that Tyrann Mathieu and Travarius Ward probably not coming back. I would not say it definitively, but probably going somewhere else. Frank Clark at this point, probably going somewhere else unless they can restructure something. You're looking at a defense that's going to look fundamentally different. Anthony Hitchens already gone.
Right.
You have your young linebackers and all that. We don't have to go through the whole roster. But then you even see, Tyreek Hill is going to need a contract extension very soon. What's going to happen with the rest of their receivers? Like there are a ton of questions. They have the big ones answered.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, offensive line. Lots of answers to good questions. But there are a lot of new ones that are popping up this offseason.
Yeah, there are a lot of ones. And I do think that obviously Tyrann Mathieu is the biggest one that everyone's talking about on a national level, because while the Chiefs probably from a schematic point can do without him, and I think a lot of Chiefs fans probably feel that way, and even from a monetary standpoint could do without that. From a leadership standpoint, I think it says a lot that for 2 of the 3-4 years that he's been here, he's won team MVP and been voted on that by his peers. So that means that he's obviously having some kind of impact in the locker room. And I mean, you and I see it because we're around the team a lot. So he obviously has that kind of leadership role for the defense and can guide guys and put them in the places that they need to be. And we saw the difference between him being out there versus not being out there, especially this season. But the safety position is one that they definitely have to get right, and they have to have somebody who's – you don't necessarily have to have a big name back there, in my opinion, because you already have the big names along the defensive line, and you would hope that Chris Jones can step up and be more of a leader. And then hopefully the linebackers with Nick Bolton, the way that he's stepped up now that he's not a rookie anymore, maybe he can kind of spearhead that and take more of a leadership role. But that's a position that you got to figure out, and you can't necessarily just say, hey, all right, we're going to draft somebody in the 6th round and hope that he's really good.
Well, so, I mean, the veterans, again, I just mentioned a bunch of guys who have been here for a long time that are going to probably be on the way out. You even mentioned Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a big personality, and I don't mean to say, like, he can't lead in the locker room or whatever. I believe that he certainly does. But you do have different types of people there, and, like, you can actually speak to this better than almost anybody else we have come through here. Like, whenever you look at the construct of a locker room and of an actual team, you have people that lead in different ways. Where Tyrann Mathieu is a barker, you know? I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is loud and also, of course, doing the stuff. And some people seem like you have quiet leaders that can say, hey, follow me. I don't know if Eric Berry was a loud leader from the same position, but it certainly seemed like you could follow in his footsteps and get where you needed to go. I don't know. But there are different styles of that and different ways that locker rooms need to mix. I'm curious as what you think about that as a general concept.
Yep.
And then, man, if you're Brett Veach, how do you attest for any of that in a team building? Do you have to hope you get it right? Like, are you looking for a vocal leader? Do you find somebody that Steve Spagnuolo likes from years ago?
Right.
Like, I don't know how you navigate that.
And I think that's the biggest question is when you're going into not only drafting someone, but then going and looking into free agency about, okay, do we want a proven vocal leader that can step in there and just take over, like even like a Melvin Ingram, who maybe isn't always the vocal leader, but he walks into a locker room and is like, I will demand respect.
Yeah.
And I think Mahomes kind of has that aura too, where he leads by example, but because of what he's accomplished, he demands that respect the minute that he walks into a room. And so you've got to have those guys. You have to have the lead by example, but you do also have to have the barkers. And Eric Berry was a guy who could be loud, could be vocal, but he also was very similar in that his life experiences allowed him to walk into any kind of social situation and be a leader because people looked up to and respected what he did both on and off the field. And I think Tyrann's kind of has that same thing in that he can be very quiet and mild-mannered, and he goes out in the community, and he is involved in Kansas City, but he also is that guy who can step up when people have their heads down on a sideline and can say, get your head up, let's go. Like, we're going to win this game. We're going to be fine. And you can't always just guess that. And I mean, even just like us in relationships and when you pick friends and stuff of that nature and just like group dynamics, it's hard to pick that out unless it's proven and you've seen it. And so I think that's why, in my opinion, you have to go out and find some veteran that can fill that role. Juan Thornhill has been great, but I don't necessarily think he has that ability to be a leader in that position just yet. And you don't really have anybody in the cornerback group that can do that either.
It's funny you mentioned Thornhill. I remember, I just I haven't thought about this in months, but whenever he was out there with like the rookies in training camp, the rookies and the veterans who were coming back from injuries or whatever, he even talked about that some. I think even Matthew talked about that. Spags talked about that. So like trying to help get him to that point. Wonder if there's any thought, from a year ago of there might be a time when Juan Thornhill does need to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
Can we get him there? What is another year of that under Tyrann Mathieu? And maybe that's another thing. You have one of the loud guys exit. Has somebody been waiting and say, you know what? I actually can step into that role, but I haven't had to this point. I don't know. There's just so many little things that are going to be really interesting for this team from here on out. But you need to go so you can go be cold outside somewhere and be other places.
Man, we have so much fun.
I know.
Time just flies.
It flies. So let's just do this again sometime soon. In the meantime, if people want to watch you be very cold outside or maybe get to be inside and not have snow falling on you on KCTV5, and also you can follow you on Twitter at KCTVDani,
Yep.
DANI.
Be tweeting some stuff out, some fun things, like Bob Huggins making weird fun remarks. That's how
I
we
would
do.
love more Bob Huggins content at any given point. Anything else that people should know or ways to watch or things to watch to tune in for? I don't know. I feel like we can just say turn on TV and you'll see you. But
pretty
I don't know
much
anything else.
4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock on our locker room show, KSMO 10 o'clock tonight. Obviously, Twitter's a big one. Facebook, Dani Welniak, and then obviously, every once in a while when I pop in here with Brisco and we decide to banter about Baby Yoda and.
Oh, Blake, do you have another bug fact?
I thought that I dropped my bug fact.
That's fine.
With the dung. Is
That's
that acceptable?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I just didn't want to send you out and have you walk out and go, actually, there's this thing called a snow bug that lives in and the door slams shut. No, so that
I won't do that
to
to you.
recap, dung beetles not only use dung that they find for food, but also for habitat.
Correct. Yeah.
Can you
for their
explain
homes.
Can you explain how the structure of that works on any level?
I mean, that's.
Are they living inside of balls of dung? Do they use it and make little structures? Are they little dung huts?
I'm pretty sure they can make dung huts out of them, and they can utilize dirt and all that stuff to create it. So it's pretty much magical.
She's a woman of every possible.
Can you smell it?
Yeah, is it sweet? Does it smell sweet? Is it sweet dung?
Pungent. Like pure gasoline.
So I mostly really love talking to Dani Welniak from KCTV5. You can watch her on TV. And then sometimes she says the phrase, "Can you smell the dung?" And then I have to really reconsider some things. Thank you, Dani, for being here. Please keep all your fingers and toes, and
I'll
we'll
do my best.
talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Brisco.
We're out here at P&L for Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB. More almost entirely sports, totally dung-free whenever we come back.
Take the show with you wherever you go. Listen live on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app and 810WHB.com.
Hey folks, Jerry and Al at Continental Siding. Springtime means the fish are biting.
It also means it's time for spring cleaning around here. The bigger we get, the more efficient we need to be with our warehousing and delivery systems. We're tearing down and rebuilding so we can serve our installers better, so they can serve our customers better.
Right now, we got a lot of odd lot sizes of siding. These shorter pieces are top quality polymer made right here in Missouri. They're too short to be seamless, but too long to be recycled. So what are we gonna do? We're having a seams on the back of the house sale, larger than we've ever had before.
If you'll help us with our spring cleaning by allowing us to use those shorter pieces of siding on the back of your home, we'll make the front and two sides totally seamless.
It's almost like getting the back of your home done free. So,
click
or call now.
Go to continentalsiding.com.
Now's the time to establish and or maintain a barrier around your home with Augustine Exterminators. Don't let it break down. At Augustine Exterminators, they have you covered. Augustine Exterminators is a family-owned local business since 1966. All of their techs are certified in both Missouri and Kansas. They are a Quality Pro and Green Pro company. Augustine Exterminators also does carpet, rug, air duct, and tile cleaning. They have an excellent referral program as well. Refer a new customer, and you both get $25 off your next service. That's right. Refer a friend, and you both get $25 off. Shop and buy local with Augustine Exterminators. Call Augustine Exterminators today at 913-359-8627 or go online at AugustineExterminators.com. That's online at AugustineExterminators.com or give them a call, 913-359-8627.
Your exclusive home of Championship Week. Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sports Radio 810 WHB is bringing you a full week of college basketball action. We'll have exclusive live play-by-play of the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, plus the SEC, the Big 10, ACC, Pac-12, and Missouri Valley Championships. And it all leads up to Selection Sunday, March Madness, and the Final Four. All right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
At Robert Brogdon's Olathe Buick GMC, your car buying experience just got better. Not only do they have the best selection around, they're offering 90-day money-back guarantee on new vehicle purchases. That's right, buy any new Buick or GMC from Brogdon, and if you're not completely satisfied, return it for a full refund. From the 2022 GMC Yukon and Sierra 1500 Limited to the Buick Encore GX, now is the time to buy. Visit robertbrogdon.com or stop by I-35 in Santa Fe and Olathe. Customer must register vehicle. See dealer for details.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Oh, fair.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
It always makes me so happy to talk to Dani Welniak. Again, follow her on Twitter at KCTVDani. You can see her all over the place on KCTV5, the Locker Room Show over on KSMO. Just one of those people. I was telling Rudy this during the break. And there are people that I'm not going to mention right now who I'm sure do qualify in this realm. But two people who have been on the show with us these last 2 days, just having Dani in studio, this studio, and having Hartzell around, and as we had him for an hour yesterday, those two people just have some of the best energy that you're going to find anywhere ever. If the two of them just wanted to follow me around or let me follow them around, I feel like I would have more and better energy all the time. Just so wonderful. And really, they've and everybody who's been out here, honestly, has made this whole week out here so far Such a wonderful time, and we'll be out here again the next couple of days as well. No more AES after tonight's show, but if you are out here and want to hang, I forgot to bring AES buttons today. Rudy also forgot to bring
AES
them.
buttons today.
So I don't know that we're going to have actual buttons to give out is my concern, but if you do come up and want to say hi, I'd love to get to meet some AES listeners. Also, some of our AES Twitchers, the AES holes.
Ice
we have no choice but to
Pyro
call
and
them.
Wallaby specifically.
So they made the point, they asked the question that Rudy relayed to me during the break. I have no way of checking all those comments right now. I only have one screen in here. I need like 7 to do this job appropriately. But they asked what the AES bracket is going to be this year. And I had this thought cross my mind a day or two ago, and then I thought, well, that seems like a lot of work. I don't know if I can make this happen. But we could use some help. So here's what I'm willing to offer out there. You can tweet some suggestions. Please do tweet them to at least both me and Rudy. It just will help your chances of us seeing them. So if you tweet at JB Brisco, no E.
But also with an E.
No. Well, if you want to tweet both accounts, that's fine. But if you want your bracket to be read, at least do include at JB Brisco. I have a funny. No, stop it. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put somebody on blast right now. I'm going to make
Blast
a vague.
them.
I'm going to make a vague, and
Blast
if there's a chance that they hear it, then they can, they'll know.
Spirits doesn't listen to the show.
So fiance Renee and I have generally altogether been together for 5 years and change now. Been engaged now for the entirety of 2022.
Short year so far.
Some of the cards from some of her family. Not immediate family. This is not either of, her parents or brother or anything. But some of her slightly extended family who I've met and, and really do enjoy all of Renee's immediate and extended family. Sometimes a card will get sent to the house for Renee DeVault and Joshua Briscoe. And I don't know who the hell that guy is, but I'm really starting to ask some questions about who this Joshua Briscoe is. It's sure as heck not me. And so, Rudy, I would just really appreciate it if you would stop finding Renee's extended family and reminding them that my name is spelled with an E at the end, because your misinformation is upsetting and, frankly, dangerous.
I have a job to do. I have a duty. I just make sure it gets done, okay? Not all heroes wear capes. We don't all seek publicity. We're not looking for praise. We just wake up, and when nobody's looking, we do the right thing.
Damn, that was so poetic that I feel like I actually lost the moral high ground. It was all bull bleep, and I still feel like I lost there.
Yeah, I would argue 99% of what I say on the radio is bull bleep.
But if you can win 99% of the time, that's pretty good. So you can tweet at me at JB Brisco.
With an E.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Sorry, there's a trailer for a movie called The Lost City, and it's blowing my mind right now because I don't know what I'm looking at, but my mind is blown.
Yeah, I saw this online, and then I saw it in theaters before the Batman a couple of days ago, whenever that was.
Yeah.
And this is Sandra Bullock and a bunch of,
Channing
huge superstars,
Tatum,
right?
Oscar from The Office. More people who I've just already forgotten, even though I literally just saw the trailer 2 seconds ago.
Brad Pitt is in it. Anyway, so if you want to tweet, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and peel back out over here again now. If you want to tweet at JB Brisco and then I'm going to do it for you here, Rudy, at Not That Rudy. Rudy. Have you seen that? Hey, Rudy, have you seen that? Rudy. You know that movie? Rudy.
What's this from?
Rudy.
I don't recognize the name.
When Rudy insists on misspelling my last name, I insist on chanting Rudy back to him.
Fair trade.
Because sometimes I got to put the hammer down, baby. So you
Ice
can.
Pyro says, "What is he talking about? Needing suggestions? We already have a decision."
So what was the decision that the Twitch chat came to?
So Twitch, largely Ice Pyro and Wallaby want to do vintage games, right? So and that would include to simplify it as a series, right? So it's not Madden 97, 98, and 99. It's just Madden, you're right. It's not NFL Street 1 and 2. It's just NFL Street, or whatever, whatever game, the Tomb Raiders, whatever you prefer.
Okay, so here's the thing. Is I do feel like at some point that gets a little bit out of my wheelhouse, which doesn't mean we couldn't do it, but I there's just some stuff there that I'm going to have missed, and that I think at least you and I will have probably not fully covered in our own lives. I also think that if we do something video game related, we're right on the line of probably being able to get Chris Plant, our dear and somewhat new friend, over, who is a co-host of The Besties, which is arguably Rudy and I's favorite podcast, certainly our favorite video game book club that's not a book club.
Yes. It is a top 3 podcast for me, and that's including The Resties, which is also great.
Also
which
fantastic.
is a podcast within a podcast.
Yeah, really. But not that kind of podcast within a podcast.
Podcast within a podcast, yes.
That's a different one. Yeah, right. Some of our favorite podcasts only exist within other podcasts. It's really crazy. We're real deep into the bleep on that one. But I also don't want to accidentally commit intellectual theft.
For sure.
Of the Besties. I feel like they have their territory there. So that's something I'm just keeping in mind. And obviously, everyone listening to this show knows that I in no way, believe that the only way for us to do a bracket is for it to be somewhat sports related. However, if we did a bracket of sports video games, and maybe it's franchises or maybe it's specific ones, you got to go Madden 04, NFL Street 2, Backyard Baseball 2001.
That's the winner.
It's hard to beat, man. So if we went that route, I feel like we would have our own space there that would appeal to larger audience and also a little bit more specific in terms of what the range is. Because if we just go all of Zelda, I just think that we might go a little bit too big there. We don't have to decide this tonight by any means, but that's something I'm thinking about. What did we do last year? Was last year Pokemon based?
I was gonna say, was last year our favorite Kanto Pokemon?
I think that's right.
I think that was last year's bracket, and I believe the year. Yeah. Our Wallaby says it was. That's what it was. And then the year before that
Pokemon,
was the casual fast food dining, right?
That was a Sterling joint. That was an ESPN Kansas City joint, wasn't it? Or did we steal that?
Sterling, we stole it.
Okay.
So Sterling, I think, mentioned it, and then we took that because remember that's when we had the giant, and we still have it somewhere, the giant bracket, the whiteboard. And I would actually write. Yeah, we had the camera set up, and I would actually write it as we went. Yeah.
I think I gave Sterling credit for that, and like a couple of home stretches ago, and actually I think we did do most of that work, so that's funny.
He definitely brought the idea to our attention. Okay. We then just actually made it a thing.
I think late in our bracket included both Cracker Barrel and Red Lobster, and Renee and I actually went to a Red Lobster shortly following after we went and saw the Batman. I had not been to Red Lobster in an incredibly long time. That's my review. Hadn't been in a long time. Returning to Red Lobster. Kind of, apparently they're owned by the same company that owns Olive Garden.
That makes sense.
They're like the Olive Garden of seafood.
Yeah, that checks out. I just, the thing in that, it's been forever all since I've been to Red Lobster. Obviously, like, crab meat's it's one of those things, like, it's pretty much good anywhere, right? Like, it's hard to mess up necessarily.
Maybe I should have gone crab, yeah.
But the thing with Red Lobster, it's the cheddar biscuits, right?
Yes, and those did live up to the memory, to the hype, to everything. Worth the price of admission.
Yeah,
100%.
I think that's the thing about I don't think you go to Red Lobster because you think it's the best seafood you're gonna get. I think you go to Red Lobster because you're gonna be like, I think the seafood's it's fine, right? It's solid, it's okay, but these biscuits, man.
So we gotta kick that around a little bit. We gotta find something that we could bracketize, that we could do in some Twitter polls and all of that, but that is wieldable but also broad enough. If that makes sense. I don't know. I think that we could take more suggestions. We could take more ideas, and then at some point during in the next week or two, we need to do some seeding and figure out where exactly everything could land. But I feel like right now I have honestly just not given it that much thought yet.
I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we want to go. I'm just like literally looking around the room in here. Like, you want to do a soda bracket? You want to do an alcohol bracket? These are things that are in my eyesight right now.
Best cheese player bracket. Mascots
of this show. Oh, what about all mascots? Okay, hold on. That's not bad. I'm afraid we would have some KC Wolf bias for sure. We'd have some Slugger bias for sure. But, that comes with the selection committee. Selection committee, home field advantage, all of that. It's important. Is the Iowa State game started? That's my guess of what that noise is behind me.
So I've got Virginia, North Carolina on the TV here, so they are not on. I imagine it has started. They're just not on Big Daddy ESPN tonight.
No, it has begun, which is why you can hear the other side of the door here at McFadden's. Iowa State fans who apparently aren't even in the arena now. Some of them,
they go nuts, man.
They travel, man. I mean, they are everywhere. I kind of hope that. I'll be honest. I would take the upset here. I'd take the Iowa State over Texas Tech upset here, just to keep the Iowa State fans around for another couple more days. I feel like that we could use that energy for the.
Good for the economy.
That's also true. Iowa State fans are good for the economy.
They really are. We were in Johnny's Tuesday, and talking to the manager there. Food, of course, was great. Yeah. And basically, he was just like, "Hey, I don't really care about the weather too much, honestly. Just so long as Kansas and Iowa State keep going in this tournament, like that's how, because that's the economy for all the restaurants really down there. It is, obviously KU makes sense because it's Kansas City, it's a large fan base, but Iowa State fans, man, they travel. Like this is they come down here, they invade the city in a very politeful way. They're great. They're they have fun. They just enjoy themselves, and it's hard to complain.
Okay, here's a bracket idea. I would say we could probably get this one done on Monday if we really put our minds to it. We take the 64, maybe 68 best teams in college basketball, and then we go round by round to predict who we think would win if they were to play each other.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's kind of convoluted.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a lot of work. We might need an entire selection committee, but I don't know. I mean, we're talking about college basketball.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. I like where you're going, but let's change this up.
Okay.
Baseball. Minor league baseball teams. Bracket.
Okay, so I'm going to take that now. Okay.
Not mascots. Okay. Players.
Okay, well, so hold on.
What is the best minor league baseball team out there? World wants to know.
I think you might have
probably the Royals.
You might have gotten us close. That's pretty funny.
Thank you.
You might have gotten us close. Yeah, I think you may have crossed over what was a great idea there. I think you might have talked yourself out of it too quickly. Best minor league baseball team names. We've got some heaters out there.
It's strong.
We've got some heaters. I want to see the Quad City River Bandits go up against the Rocket Town Trash Pandas or whatever they're called. Rocket City Trash Pandas?
I think
it's
Rocket
what it is.
City Trash Panda, yeah.
I don't know if we need to include the city name or not. Maybe it's just, River Bandits, Trash Pandas.
I think frequently
Mud Hens.
It's probably not the case in every name, but I think so often the city name just adds the Rocket City Trash Pandas, right?
Yeah, they're just the Houston Trash Pandas. It's not as good.
Yeah, it's a little something extra. I think that hey, and I think it's give credit to the minor league teams out there who also play off their city name and not just we're not just here to come up with a good mascot name, but how does it roll off the tongue with our city name?
So you just heard my guess. If you're paying close attention, do you know where the Rocket City Trash Pandas actually play?
Rocket City. Is that
if you were going to look it up on a map?
So if I had to think of rockets in a city, does Houston have a problem?
I knew you were going somewhere. I could feel it. So Houston was my guess. I thought they played in Houston. I thought Rocket City was going to be Houston.
I did too.
Because Houston has a problem. You have the Houston Rockets, of course. But my thought was just, Houston, that's where that's NASA. They're located in Madison, Alabama.
Checks out.
Why is Madison, Alabama? Well, sorry, everybody. They were the Mobile Bay Bears previously, and now they're the Mobile Bay Bears. You have the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Well, you know what they say about a good radio tease? That's really what it's all about. So on the other side of this break, I will give you my official research to figure out why Madison, Alabama is also known as Rocket City. Next on Almost Entirely Sports.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page.
Join fellow college basketball fans at Kansas City's Big 12 Run on Saturday, March 12th at 9 a.m. in downtown KC. Runners are encouraged to wear their favorite team's colors and show their school spirit for this fun 5K race. Register today at Big12Run.com to get all the great participant perks, which include a free Big 12 basketball-themed shirt, a cool finisher's medal, and a celebratory beer after the race. It's Kansas City's Big 12 Run on Saturday, March 12th. Register at Big12Run.com. Union Broadcasting is a proud sponsor of the Big 12 Run.
Are you at a dead end when it comes to dealing with that awful joint pain? So was Rick Rawlings.
I did a year and a half of steroidal injections in my shoulder, both shoulders. They weren't helping at all, and it was just a Band-Aid.
As for the constant pain medication prescriptions,
I didn't get any relief. I didn't get any sleep, so I just stopped taking them. I didn't want to get hooked on drugs.
But one day,
I heard a commercial on the radio about QC Kinetics.
Rick called QC Kinetics and learned all about natural biologic therapies, non-surgical treatments that actually help the body restore damaged joint tissue. And it was life-changing.
After doing the QC Kinetics, I feel like I have a new life again. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. My only regret was I wish I had done it sooner.
From dead ends to new beginnings. Call today and learn about QC Kinetics' long-lasting relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
Many think about helping the homeless when it's cold outside. But the reality is that often the number of homeless folks on our streets actually increases as the weather warms up. Sometimes the greatest time of need is when you'd least expect it. At City Union Mission, we're open year-round to serve and support our homeless neighbors. Would you join us in meeting their physical and spiritual needs with the hope of Jesus Christ? Please consider making a life-changing donation today at cityunionmission.org. Hope lives here.
Hi, I'm Steve Hedgepeth with Quad Power Products. We know that time is money, and we pride ourselves in getting our customers back up and running quickly. At Quad Power Products, we can duplicate your hydraulic hose assemblies while you wait, in most cases getting you back out the door in 15 minutes or less. We have an excellent inventory of hydraulic hoses, quick couplers, and adapters, and we pair it with the best customer service. Come see us today, Quad Power Products on Hickman Mills Drive, just south of the Triangle in South Kansas City.
It's time for our contractor pricing premium grill sale. Pair a new Fire Magic with one of True Refrigeration's commercial refrigerators or ice makers. For over 75 years, True and Fire Magic have manufactured commercial-grade equipment for your home. Both have double the warranty of other brands. Current stock is great. Shop early for the best selection. Think family, think friends, think smoke and fire.
All month long, Hog Wild for Hoops is back at Zarda Barbecue. Dine in, drive through, or carry out our Hog Wild sandwich. Thinly sliced ham, fresh pulled pork, melted provolone, and 2 strips of bacon on a toasted Roma bun for just $7.99. And we'll throw in a side of Zarda's award-winning burnt-in beans for free. Come to Zarda Barbecue today for our Hog Wild sandwich. Available for a limited time with a side of burnt-in beans for only $7.99. Zarda Barbecue. Come get some.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
The attempted illusion that the Royals would create that, oh, this is the team that can contend. Hey, we're raised royal and forever royal and taking the crown. This year's just going to be like, don't strain your butt.
On Sports Radio 810, WHB.
NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center is in Huntsville, Alabama. Mystery solved. There was an Army thing established there since World War II, around World War II. The United States Army Aviation Missile Command. The FBI's Operational Support Headquarters all came to be located at nearby Redstone Arsenal. Huntsville, Alabama. Rocket City. Sort of. Rudy says that the sentiment in the chats have changed, that the minor league baseball team name idea maybe has some legs bracketology-wise. We will, again, if you want to, especially if people are listening to the podcast right now and over the rest of the show, at least, I would say through the weekend, you can continue to send your ideas at JB Brisco, at Not That Rudy. That'll help us make sure we see the ideas that you guys send in. I don't know if there's a hashtag that we need or something. I feel like if you just at both of us, one of us should see it. And we will we'll put some thought into that for where we go from here. Also, on the other side of this upcoming break, we'll talk to our friend Sterling Holmes of ESPN Kansas City, the Homestretch, weekdays from 3 to 4 on 1510 AM, 94.5 FM. We haven't talked about baseball returning very much. That might be something we talk a little bit more about in the days and weeks to come as baseball actually does show up. Here's what I'm annoyed by. Uniform ads? Are you kidding me? Part of the thing that got baseball back was putting uniform ads on baseball helmets and jerseys?
Yes.
Why are you excited?
Because it makes you mad.
It makes me so freaking mad. You know what you do whenever you love and support a team? You put the city name on your chest, the team name on your chest. You wear those jerseys out around your city to represent the sport and team and city you love. And now I've got to do it. Now I've got to do it with the freaking PayPal logo on my jersey? Phoenix Suns? Are the Royals going to be out here with the freaking Bumble logo like the Clippers? I don't like it.
So.
The NASCARification of professional sports has to stop. Baseball, you're supposed to be better than this. I blame you, Rob Manfred. I blame you.
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Break out your green and give it cheer. St. Patty's Day is almost here. Start your celebration at Hy-Vee's Sip of the Irish Wine and Spirit Sale. Save some green on your favorite brands like Sons of Irish Whiskey, Guinness, Boulevard Irish Ale, and more. Earn 25 cents per gallon on your Fuel Saver card with a $50 purchase of wine, beer, seltzer, or spirits. Don't miss the Sip of the Irish Sale, Thursday through Sunday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee stores. Product or promotion availability differs by location and state. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
Hey, Kansas City, Steven St. John here for Hy-Vee. I save so much money with my Hy-Vee Fuel Saver card. Things are about to get hot because Hy-Vee is going to heat up the savings. Just shop Hy-Vee on Monday, swipe your Fuel Saver card, and earn a Fuel Saver discount equal to the local high temperature on Sunday and the amount you spend. So if the high on Sunday is 48 degrees, I'll save 48 cents per gallon when I spend $48. Heat up your savings at Hy-Vee.
Must use lookup number 95393. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm attorney Mike DePasquale. I played linebacker. I won a state championship. I played Division I ball. I know a thing or two about winning. A winning attitude starts with confidence. My law firm is so confident in what we do that if we take your injury case and we don't win, you don't pay us a dime. So if you've been hurt, call me. My team wants to win for you. I've got this.
Mike's got this. All you need to know. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Sports Radio 810 WHB is your home for the Big 12 Championship. Get fired up, Kansas City, before you head into the games with the official team pep rallies, or hang out and watch all the action on the big screen. And you can catch all the latest news with press conferences featuring all the players and coaches, plus live play-by-play from inside T-Mobile Center. It's all right here on your home for the Big 12 Championship, March Madness, and the Final Four. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Won't you come along with me? Come out to jazz with me.
Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. That's what we do at Jazz. Papa Vic here to tell you about what's happening at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana kitchen. Economy got you down? You don't need a fat wall at Jazz. Come enjoy our succulent home cooking, Cajun cuisine anytime. Come in and let Jazz cook for you. We've partnered with Proactive Protect to provide nanotechnology protection that sanitizes all our tables, chairs, and the interior of the restaurant. So come on in. Not comfortable coming in? Check out our website, jazzkitchens.com, and place your order online or through Menufy. Check out our dedicated curbside parking spots, and we'll bring the taste of New Orleans to your car. 3 locations, the original at 39th and State Line, and at Legends of Village West, our newest location in Independence at I-70 and 291, just east of the Cable Dahmer Arena. Jazz. All that and a bowl of gumbo, too.
Say, Bob, You sure dig jazz.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Where there's always a party every night.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Live coverage of the Big 12 Basketball Championship from the Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoops Central is presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB, by Gutter Cover KC, a first-class product installed with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. For details, go to guttercoverkc.com. By X Golf Leewood, the premier indoor golf and entertainment experience in town. Book your tee time today at xgolfleewood.com. By Core First Bank, you need a team you can count on. Core First Bank, member FDIC. And by CBD American Shaman. CBD American Shaman. Everything is better with the feather.
You're listening to the most powerful sports station in the country. Sports Radio 810, WHB Kansas City, the power of sports.
This is Sports Center.
Hello there, I'm Mark Robbins. 99 was good enough for Wayne Gretzky for all those years, and 99 days is a good end to the Major League Baseball lockout. The owners and the players agreeing on a 5-year collective bargaining agreement and a full 162-game season that will begin on April 7th. The deal gets done despite the 8-player negotiating committee unanimously saying no to the deal. ESPN MLB insider Buster Olney says the majority of the baseball players were tired of their executive committee.
The rank and file were like, nope, we're going back to work. And it's seen, that vote was seen, I know, by players and by agents as being kind of a mini revolt as we get close to the finish line, saying, no, we need to get back into camps and start start getting paychecks.
That was Buster Olney earlier on baseball tonight. By the way, in the new agreement, the designated hitter is coming to the National League starting this season. College basketball conference tournament games. Right now, North Carolina and Virginia getting started in the ACC. That's on ESPN Radio and ESPN. Earlier, Virginia Tech beat Notre Dame. Duke took out Syracuse. In the Big East, Villanova rallies from down 17 to stun St. John's. Creighton and Providence also picked up wins. And in the Big 12, Oklahoma upsets Baylor 72-67, the final there. And in the Pac-12, Arizona, ranked number 2 in the country, holds off Stanford 84-80.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Carson Wentz. This is his last stop walking in as to be a starter, but this is not his last stop if it doesn't work out in Washington, having an opportunity to be a starter.
More from the guys Friday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
Well, Sterling Holmes has made it into the front seat of this segment. That doesn't mean anything. You can follow him on Twitter at Homestretch KC. You can hear him over on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, arrowheadaddict.com. I think that's all the things that you do, Sterling, other than just, again, following you on Twitter. Is there anything else you would like to tell people to find you through?
With Joshua Brisco.
I also sell real estate. You can find me on betterhomesandgardens.com.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Continuing to broadcast live from the McFadden studio at the Kansas City Power and Light District. We're out here for the Big 12 tournament, having a chilly but a good time, and it's only getting better with Sterling Holmes of the Homestretch. You can follow him on Twitter at HomestretchKC. None of us would be out here if it wasn't for our sponsors, Whataburger, Gutter Cover KC, X Golf Leewood, Core First Bank, CBD American Shaman, and, of course, the title sponsor, Miller Lite, here at Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling, we've had some fun college basketball things going on out here, obviously, but like the rest of the sports world has given college basketball absolutely no room to breathe. Baseball is back. The AFC West is here, and we're just, walking around in the snow, shaking babies and kissing drinks or whatever.
I said the exact same thing yesterday. I said shaking babies and kissing hands.
I made it kissing drinks because that's more accurate.
This Topo Chico.
Dude. It's legitimate. We're out, so we've got the Miller Lite out here, and I'm kind of experimenting with my beer carb ratio, and I think Miller Lite's actually that's a place I'm going to be landing, especially tomorrow. I'm going to dig in.
99
calories. If it was 99 carbs, that would be like an entire.
Oh, see, I don't have the diabetes, so I'm not really good on the whole health. Look at me.
99 carbs in one can would be like just like a hamburger bun and like a Five Guys bag of French fries, and then maybe a little milkshake to fill in the gaps. That's a lot of carbs.
Also sounds delicious. We're on to something.
Sorry, Whataburger. Have you gone to the new Whataburger location down here yet?
And I'm really upset I have not
Me
gone
too,
yet.
man. Some Whataburger folks are out here earlier. I'm wondering if tomorrow maybe they circle back around. We're going to do some giveaways and everything. Might see if I can't get myself in on the little secret Whataburger club or something. I'm really excited to dig back into Whataburger.
Every time I hear the name, though, I just want to always exclaim, "What a burger!"
I think that's
I feel like you have to pronounce it like
if you go through the drive-thru and they go like, "Hello, welcome to What a Burger," and then you order your food and you go through and grab it at the window.
I really want to take just one bite.
Oh yeah.
In the drive-thru, maybe.
Yes.
And just be like, "Oh wow, what a burger!"
And at that point, confetti falls out of the sky,
confetti.
and you get like a lifetime free.
I'm shooting Roman candles out of my Jeep.
Yes, I think that's a pretty good effort for you to bring there.
Frankly, it sounds safe.
Yeah, safe, fun,
good, clean, family fun. I don't see what could go wrong.
I don't either. It's certainly not going to be the Whataburger because that right there, that's a guaranteed slam dunk. But so anyway, these Topo Chico seltzers. So today I thought, you know what? I found that these are out here. We got these over in our little VIP tent. Have to assume there's a Miller company, tie in there. So I feel like we can appropriately hype them up as also one of the sponsors. I had not tried I had seen like some ads, I think. I had not tried the Topo Chico hard seltzer though until this week. Had one of the lemon lime ones. Fabulous. The tropical mango one is excellent. I'm a hard seltzer guy, like 2 grams of carbs per can. That's nothing. And I'm also, though, maybe a little bit of a hard seltzer snob. I can tell you there's some flavors from some other brands I don't love. So far, man, these have been nothing but heat. I love the Topo Chico ones.
I've been going back and forth. I've been doing the whole. I have 2 hands.
That's right.
They got to hold 2 things.
Why'd God give you 2 hands?
To hold 1 Miller Lite in one hand and a Topo Chico in the other. I mean, I don't make the rules.
No, God did. And now here you are fulfilling his prophecy. Is there not like a carb count on the Miller Lite can?
That one's empty now. As you can tell by the crackle.
3.2 grams of carbs
That's
in
not
that.
bad.
This has 2 grams of carbs. That's nothing, man. Under 5 grams of carbs, I sneeze at that. I'm not putting that in my little. I'm not sticking myself in the needle. I'm not putting that in my Omnipod little receiver, man. I'm gonna crush some Miller Lights tomorrow. Hell yeah, dude.
We are the pinnacle of health.
Yes.
If health was people who don't really work out, drink beer, and eat extremely unhealtzy, you might not like it. You might not like it.
Yeah.
But this is what the male peak body looks like.
Have you ever met anybody in a bad mood after crushing some Miller Lights and having some Whataburger? You haven't.
No.
You know what our best health is? Our soul health, man. We got it in our soul, dude.
When people eat arugula,
yeah.
First off, it tastes like dirt. When they're eating dirt lettuce, and they're sitting there like, I'm so hungry, but look how good I look.
Yeah.
You're not happy.
You're not happy.
You're not happy.
No, you're not. You know what makes arugula better? Pour some Miller Lite on it. There's your dressing. Cowards, grow up. Try it.
I will do it.
You should, man. You should have.
By the way, can't make arugula taste worse.
Real quick timeout. Are you washing your arugula before you eat it? Are you getting pre-washed arugula? Because I feel like it shouldn't taste like dirt. Like if your lettuce tastes like dirt,
no,
it
not
might
lettuce,
be dirt.
Not spinach. Arugula
is a type of lettuce.
Arugula. It tastes like dirt.
So we could pretty much start wherever you want on this, Stu, because we do have infinite sports things happening all at once, which is pretty cool for just a a nice casual week in March as we're getting ready for March Madness and all of that. But for me, the thing I am most generally hyphy about is the AFC West. This isn't great for the Chiefs, but obviously it was Russell Wilson to the Broncos. That's huge. Today, Khalil Mack is back in the AFC West, but he's going to the Chargers. Little Bosa-Mack duo is kind of bonkers. How are you feeling about the division right now? It's fun. It might be scary, but it's fun. It's like a Batman movie. It's a little scary,
also,
pretty good.
The Batman movie being called The Batman means I'm actually going to get the Batman title right. Because
it's playing to you and your audience.
It's
boomers.
like the Star Trek, the Star Wars,
Yep.
the Batman. Sorry, I don't get that stuff. I was out playing sports and not watching
There weren't that many Batman movies when we were young.
The Dark Knight was good. I'll give that one, but I'm not into that stuff. But I am into the AFC West.
No one's going to hold you down and make you watch it. You just letting people enjoy things.
They can enjoy it.
You know what I don't watch or listen to? The Homestretch when I'm not on it. That doesn't mean I can't recommend it to other people.
That hurt. But it's tough but fair. The AFC West was a bloodbath. This is awesome, and as a fan, this is fun. It's not going to be easy, but now it's going to actually be a rivalry. Beating the Broncos 13 times in a row, not going to happen. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, Denver. Now you can actually have some fun. The Chargers, I'm going to be interested to see how it plays out because they've switched cities, they've switched head coaches, they've switched quarterbacks. They still choke. It's incredible. It's like you give them a slice of bread and they find a way to not eat it and just go, like, I don't get how it happens, but it happens.
Right.
This is fun.
Yeah.
The biggest winner, though, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are sitting back right now saying, oh, hell yeah, you guys beat up on each other.
Yep.
We'll get the 1 seed. Mac Jones ain't scaring anybody. The Dolphins are basically trying to lose games, and they were somehow still winning.
Maybe literally.
Well, maybe the fact that they were trying to lose games and winning 10 games, that could be something scary going on there.
Sure.
The Jets.
Are the Jets still?
The Steelers don't have a quarterback. They're rolling out guys named Duck and Mason.
Yep.
Mason Rudolph.
Mason
who knows?
and Duck.
I mean, who knows? Maybe something happens there.
They're going to do something. They have to do something.
But even the Raiders, as much as we like to give crap to that organization, to Derek Carr, they got to the playoffs with all of that turmoil.
They were a playoff team. They're a playoff team with all of that.
They were 1 possession away to beating the Super Bowl representing team from the AFC.
Yep.
This is going to be a really fun season to watch. The Chiefs are going to have as much as they can handle in the regular season, but I still have them favored. They're still the best team, in my opinion, in the AFC.
So my exact big picture takeaway on the Russell Wilson trade, which is only further exaggerated here with the Khalil Mack deal, my takeaway is exactly that. It's, hey, look, I think the Chiefs are still the best team in the AFC West, but now if you were going to say, hey, who's the best team in the AFC? Obviously, we have a lot of offseason to get through, and we'll see where it goes, but I'm typically going to side with Patrick Mahomes. If you told me who's most likely to get the 1 seed in the AFC, I would not put that money on the Chiefs anymore.
Correct.
Because to your point, the Bills get 3 sorry teams that they get to win 5 out of their 6 games against or whatever. Even if they drop one that they probably shouldn't drop to, maybe it's to Mac Jones, whatever, right? They ought to be able to handle their business in the AFC East. Even if you look at, for me, I'm actually kind of bullish on the Ravens. 4th place schedule, getting healthy, all of that.
Oh, good call.
But you have the Ravens, you have the Bengals, and then the Browns I actually think might be a little better than we saw last year just because Baker Mayfield gets healthy, whatever.
He actually has 2 arms.
He has 2 functioning arms.
He's able to throw.
But right now, man, if you're the Bills, to your exact point, look at that division. They've got some layups in there. The AFC North doesn't really have any layups. The AFC West has absolutely 0 layups. And if you go to the South, I've got my questions about the Titans still. That whole division, I think I don't know if there's layups. I also don't know if there's an elite team in there.
Like the Colts get a quarterback,
right? And if they get Jimmy Garoppolo, then we're back at. It's a less chaotic than Carson Wentz.
Than Carson Wentz, and somehow worse than Derek Carr.
Higher floor, lower ceiling than Carson Wentz when they acquired him, and probably higher floor, lower ceiling than Carr, maybe also. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, you look at the South, and a team's gonna win that division with 11 or 12 wins, probably.
You forget one thing though. It's long next season.
Yeah,
Houston Texans. What's
Davis Mills, baby? Davis Mills season. Lovie Smith season. Not too worried about it. But that's the thing is where the Bills are clearly have the best ratio of them versus everybody else in their division. The Chiefs now have a couple of teams that are going to consider themselves their peers. One team that was in the and the team that we're not considering a peer was in the playoffs last year. There's 1 first-round bye now. That actually worries me a little bit.
I do think it's funny to at least say all of that capital went to Seattle, and they now have the 3rd best quarterback in the AFC West.
I also think that's funny, yes.
I know you can make the case that Russell Wilson's better than Justin Herbert, but what we have seen over the past year at least, Herbert was better.
Yes.
Maybe even the past 2 years, Herbert was better. Russell Wilson is, for the first 8 weeks of every season, he's an MVP candidate.
Right.
And then he becomes an MV piss down his leg candidate the last 8 or 9. Like
last year he was hurt. Like
he was hurt. It was unfair.
He came back quickly from a hand issue. Like that's a big deal. But also, you're right. Justin Herbert had a better season last year than Russell Wilson did.
And as much as we say that offensive line for Seattle was horrible, which at times it was, we saw Joe Burrow do with the maybe worst offensive line in football help carry them to a Super Bowl appearance.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying Joe Burrow is this elite guy, and I've always gone back to saying
more cerebral than Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
that was the worst take I think I've ever seen. And that guy got shelled on Twitter. Whoever
did.
that was, he deserved that shellacking he received.
There were a couple of guys that decided to split that shellacking, but yeah, fair enough.
But Joe Burrow doesn't have that one trait that you look at and say he has this factor. It's not the legs. It's not the arm strength. What I always liken him to is Drew Brees because he has the accuracy. He's that guy where you're like, Drew Brees, what did you point to? You're like, oh, he completes a lot of passes.
Yes.
He's accurate. He doesn't have the biggest arm.
Accurate and consistent. And that's worth something. That is not a pejorative.
This is not me taking a shot at Joe Burrow, but where do the Bengals go from here? Can he recreate that season after season? The AFC in general is so much better than the NFC. In the NFC, you got, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, and
there's probably somebody we're missing that I'm not thinking of, but it is different.
If Kirk Cousins is a top 4 quarterback
in your conversation,
you're sitting there going, wow.
Matt Ryan in that conversation is a very old
if
man.
A 38-year-old
Jalen Hurts in that conversation. Well, Carson Wentz. You didn't mention Carson Wentz again. You've got to put respect to his name.
Sorry.
It's crazy. It is a wild evolution for this division that is clearly the best division in football, and that makes life harder for the Chiefs. But I also think it's, from our perspective, also going to be a ton of fun because there's going to be you could almost literally every single week of the season put an AFC West team in primetime.
Oh yeah.
Every one of those divisional matchups, it's either you're going to get Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Sunday with the Romo crew at I guess probably Romo. I guess we'll see. But the prime CBS afternoon slot, there's going to be AFC West games on all the time. We might not get a noon Chiefs divisional game this year. If we do, maybe we get one Chiefs-Raiders game or something.
And the Raiders and Chiefs always have good games.
Always, yeah. Even whenever one of those two teams might not deserve to be putting up actually decent effort. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope it's fun. I think it will be.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Also, the Chargers are taking on the full Khalil Mack salary there, so that the Bears are in full rebuild. If you get this money out of here, we'll take these picks back. It makes total sense. A new GM, new head coach, going to give Justin Fields whatever support you can. I understand that a little bit. What did you think about the Russell Wilson trade, both for what the Broncos gave up and then also what the Seahawks ended up moving him for?
So it was 2 firsts. Was it 2 seconds?
I don't have it in front of me.
I can pull it up if I need to. It was 2 firsts, a fifth, and it was either 2 seconds or 2 thirds that were in that trade. Noah Fant was in there, Shelby Harris was in there, and Drew Lock was in there. For Seattle, I like it. Seattle got a ton. I thought a ton back. I think Noah Fant is a underrated part of that trade because I think he's a very good tight end. I think Drew Lock, given an opportunity, we still don't know what he could be. I know I'm higher on Drew Lock.
Wow, you've got Drew Lock hope left in that soul of yours.
I mean, I went to the Zoo. I gotta have some left.
No, I'm glad somebody is here keeping up for Drew Lock. This is good. He deserves it.
He has some of the tools that you look for in a quarterback. He's big and strong. He's a very good runner, as we saw against. He almost beat Kansas City in Week 17 last year because of his legs.
Right.
He has a very strong arm. You know who was a good runner and has a strong arm and is big, but who had zero accuracy starting off and zero awareness?
I can't wait.
Josh Allen. I'm not saying Drew Lock's Josh Allen. I was the biggest Josh Allen supporter there was, and you know that. I felt your breath from here.
I'm thinking. I'm whistling and thinking if that's wild what you just did.
Josh Allen.
Cook it up.
Better quarterback.
I'm listening.
But if you're going just on the intangibles, you're going not the intangibles. You're going on the tangibles, the things you can measure. There's something there. Will Drew Lock ever be Josh Allen? I don't think so. I think Josh Allen is a unicorn, a freak of nature. He's someone who worked on his craft. He gained the accuracy. He gained the IQ. He looked like he dropped mushrooms or acid in that playoff game.
Which one? You got to pick mushrooms or acid. Wow.
He was running the wrong way with the ball out. Like, it was insane.
He got into Jameis Winston's duffel bag, and all of a sudden, yeah, no, you're right.
But so, Drew Lock has never had a fair opportunity in Denver. They'll throw him in for 4 games and say, hey, you don't have Cortland Sutton. Yeah. You won't have Noah Fant. And our offensive line is going to be a disaster. Now go out and make magic.
Mm-hmm.
What's a guy supposed to do? I think if you let him at least give him 8 straight games, give him 10 straight games in Seattle, as long as they still have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. Let's shift gears because, we said earlier we got college basketball happening here. We've got football news all around the AFC West. Also, baseball's back. And I feel like of the crew here in the McFadden studio between you and I, you might have a little more love for the small white ball sport at this point in your life than I do. I feel like I've been set free by baseball in many ways because of all of the many deadlines that so very clearly meant absolutely nothing here. But are you ready to be absolutely hyphy that baseball is back?
The small white ball, you're talking about ping pong. Massive ping pong guy.
I might be bigger on ping pong than I am on baseball or golf at this point. Small white ball sports.
No, baseball, they can't get out of their own way. They kept saying, this deadline, this is the final one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the second deadline, and that obviously was a massive deadline. You had to get it done before.
So huge.
You couldn't get it past, then it was over.
Yeah.
Well, now it looks like 162 games are still going to be getting played. I mean, it's great that baseball's back. Some of the big takeaways were players who are less than 3 years in Major League Baseball. They're going from $550,000 up to $700,000. Eventually, it's going to go to $780,000. So it's going to be a raise in price there for those guys. They're going to have bigger bases.
Yes,
which is, to me, I think is actually the big one that I'm on board with.
Makes
less
sense.
injuries.
Yep, sure.
More stolen bases.
Fewer collisions, less
we
broken
might see less of the guys popping off the bag when they steal.
Oh, interesting.
The most frustrating part of baseball, the reason why replay was not for that.
That's
it was
the most
for home
frustrating
runs.
part of baseball.
It's up there. I guess them not playing baseball was the most
also
frustrating
bad. Yeah,
part
sure.
of baseball. Universal DH in 2023, which is fantastic. So now we can finally stop with the whole Madison Bumgarner's a great hitter. Dude, he bats .220 with 4 home runs, and people lose their bleep.
I'm just glad that the rules are the same in both leagues. I feel like that was the part for me that I'm most over most quickly.
We're going to get ads on jerseys, so now it's NASCAR. So they wanted to take a page from NASCAR in the NBA, get some logos, because the owners really need that money.
They need that
and
money,
I'm
man.
sure that money goes right into the players. I'm sure now the Royals will now invest tons of money in a top-of-the-line ace, or it'll go straight to the owner's pockets. I can't say about John Sherman. We don't know about John Sherman.
But there's no competitive advantage because they're all going to get money for selling decals and turning a beloved institution of baseball uniforms into NASCAR suits.
Yeah.
Shout out baseball.
And then the shift. This is the one I have an issue with.
Yeah, and this is one that I might fight you on just for fun.
Okay. Fight me all you want. In a real fight, you might have me. In this argument, I think I'm going to win.
Wow.
To me, this devalues contact hitters. This devalues players like Nicky Lopez, Whit Merrifield, Jeff McNeil, and it comes to a point where why have those guys when you could have a Jorge Soler, Joey Gallo, who's now going to be an MVP candidate because Eric Hosmer, the most frustrating part of his game
is back.
Grounding out to the spot in between first and second base because they had a guy there. Well, now there's no shift. Eric Hosmer, good luck. He's going to bat .320 now. Not actually, who knows. But my point is it devalues contact hitters who can hit the ball to the opposite field, and now guys who only hit home runs, and when they miss and have these weak ground balls in between first and second base, those are now singles.
Right.
Those guys now have a huge bump in value. That irritates me.
Here's the thing for me. Here's where it, at the very least, where it doesn't irritate me. Baseball has put their hand on the scale a little bit, right? And I understand that. And I think any rule that puts a hand on a scale, you start going, well, wait a second. Why is this here now? Why wasn't this? If this was a rule at the start of baseball, literally no one would ever bat an eye, right? You say you got to have 2 guys on each side of the base, a second base or whatever, of course. But what baseball's done at this point is said the shift has made our product worse, at least from a viewing perspective, and we want to see more offense. We want to see more balls that are hit into play go somewhere where a defender isn't, based off of all of this advanced information we have on these guys now. And you've made this point before. I think we talked about this in the Homestretch at one point. Feels like we talked about this earlier. I don't know. Maybe we did. Where, that's been something that's been around for a while, right? Like the shift is not a recent total invention. I understand that. But whenever you're talking about the issues that baseball has in a viewership standpoint, in a entertainment product standpoint, I look at this and go, you know what? That's fine by me. We're going to ultimately see more balls in play end up with a runner on first as the idea. It is a move. You've also said this. It is a move to make more singles. But what that means is more base runners, and more base runners means a little bit more of an enticing, exciting, interesting product whenever we're all sitting around watching the one thing that's on a random July afternoon.
I know it's harder to hit singles to opposite field than it was in 1880.
Right.
No dude was throwing 102 with a 94-mile-an-hour slider like DeGrom was.
Right. You had guys pitching with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth. It's different.
And no shoes.
Right. Right.
Babe Ruth saw that, would have saw 102, and that's a wizard. That's a witch.
Yeah.
Throw him away. And he's got long hair. He's got long hair. DeGrom would not have been safe back then.
Babe Ruth would have absolutely had Jacob DeGrom tried as a witch. No question.
100%.
Yes.
I understand that argument of why you need to ban this shit because it's much harder to hit the ball to opposite field.
Yeah.
But it punishes those guys, to me, to an extreme. And also, with making the bag larger, I know you love larger bags.
You gotta have. Listen, nothing wrong with the big bag,
dude. Brisco, the BBB, not Big Baller Brand.
No. Brisco's big bags. Brisco's big bags, baby. That's four.
But see, this should incentivize stealing because it should be easier to steal a base.
I'm really interested to see what that ends up actually being because I could see it not moving the needle by much, but I could also
Maybe
see there being a little statistical advantage that makes it a little more likely. I think
but
that's
let's
fun.
see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see it first before you add multiple rule changes.
I want the bags to be the size of a kiddie pool.
Small.
I want a kiddie pool.
Too small.
Oh wow, full size Olympic pool. You take one step. You can just leap from first base to second base and third to fourth.
You got to actually swim.
Third to fourth.
Michael Phelps is making his baseball debut.
Wow, baseball in a pool now.
Is that?
There's been all this talk about the international pool.
What's that? Is that just water polo at that point?
No, it's water baseball.
Okay. You made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
To be fair,
something about stealing and more.
But see,
steals
like now
we're
gonna see more stolen bases, which in turn maybe it behooves players to hit singles or try to hit more singles to opposite field. Moustakas did it just a few years ago, right? He got sitting down in the minors to work on hitting the ball to opposite field. He did it, and then he got back up, figured his swing out, and now he is a dead pull hitter because they found the value of him in home runs. You can hit 40 means more than hitting 30 extra singles.
Sure, and again. I hope that this ultimately ends up in a spot where you go, well, you know what? Contact hitters are still getting on base, and that is a hugely valuable thing, and that they're not going to be run out of the league because now Jorge Soler can hit singles on a more regular basis. And frankly, I don't think you're going to see those guys get run out of the league or whatever. But ultimately, I think and this could be an argument where you're saying I'm talking about the value of choices being made in this league, and I'm saying they're trying to make this a little bit better of a visual product. I think we're going to see a little more offense based off that, and I think that ultimately we'll see that be a positive thing where in 5 years we're not going to be having this conversation anymore. We just get used to stuff, though, so that might not be a great argument.
Sure, but they're not going to gain new fans because dudes are now not allowed to use a shift. And that's where a lot of
here's
a lot of
thing. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Baseball is a sport where they're so reliant on history. That's been its big selling point for so long. 162 games, was 154, moved to 162.
This was like a pretty benign one for me, though.
But the history of the game of baseball is more important to me than any other sport. When you change the parts of history, that becomes a big deal. Mm-hmm. This, to me, is a part where we look back and it could change a part of history. I don't like that.
Again, this feels like a relatively benign adjustment on that front. You know what pisses me off? The uniform ads. That's one that I feel like we can all rally around on. I am preemptively so annoyed, and maybe, if there's a local connection or something, maybe we get a Royals uniform with a Miller Lite logo right there on it, maybe all of a sudden we're all back on brand again. But man, I don't trust any of these teams or any of these owners to be discerning enough to say anything other than we'd like to get the most money in our pocket possible. And now you have something that whenever you are a deeply entwined fan with your team, what do? You buy the jerseys. You wear it around Power and Light. You represent your team on the road. You wear your team stuff out in other airports across the country when you're traveling. Say, I'm a Royals fan, right? Great. Now I'm a Royals fan, brought to you by
Hinge.
Right, and they're gonna buy one. We got Bumble ads. I don't know if Tinder ended up with one. They might have, but you're gonna get a dating app on your jersey. Congratulations, sport of baseball. Wow, the history, Sterling. The history is so important.
The jersey doesn't affect the game itself.
It affects how we all watch it and how we experience and how you represent it.
They've had ads on the back of mounds now. They have virtual ads.
That's different. I don't wear the mound. You want your fans to represent
Sure.
your team.
I hate they're adding ads
I'm a
on the
Suns
jersey.
fan. You want me to put PayPal logos on every garment of
t-shirt,
clothing I have?
Every T-shirt you own. That KC Monarchs, fantastic, by the way.
You know what would make it worse? A PayPal logo. Fair. All right, cool.
I mean, we agree here. We're not disagreeing.
Yeah, I just wanted to yell.
Yeah. They're also no longer wearing fleece or basically pajamas in 110-degree weather.
What about history? The shift. What happens to Jack Johnson?
The shift of Jack Johnson?
Yeah, did he just get banished? Has he been outlawed?
Oh, bleep.
Has Jack Johnson been outlawed
I've
over on
not
ESPN
heard
Kansas
from
City?
him yet. I have not heard.
He left earlier. I got to check in and see if the shift is still allowed to exist on ESPN Kansas City because the shift has been outlawed. Huh. Well, I'm glad you weren't outlawed today, Sterling. The home stretch tomorrow from guys over on the other side of the KC Live area here at the Power and Light District. Tell me what's going on tomorrow. 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 3 to 4 every weekday, the home stretch with Sterling Holmes.
Nick Lowry, former Chiefs, member of the Chiefs Hall of Fame. Will
Chiefs
be
Hall
joining
of Famer, that some would say.
Yeah.
Might be a more
concise
way of saying that.
You think so?
I do, personally.
Okay, well, I like my way better.
Well, that's...
We need to get some words in here.
Your self-confidence.
We're trying to get the
time.
words. You know when you have like a middle school project and you have to add words?
Yeah, I got to hit the word count.
You got to hit the word count.
That's doing the show
That's what
every
we're
night.
doing right now.
Yep.
So Nick Lowry is joining me from 3 to 4 p.m. Going to be a lot of fun. Come check it out. We'll be there over at Guys, Dive, and Taco Joint.
You can listen to that tomorrow. You can go see Sterling over there. We'll have more almost entirely sports with somebody other than Sterling Holmes. Maybe just me whenever we come back.
Take the show with you wherever you go. Listen live on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app and 810WHB.com.
Here are KU coach Bill Self and Dan Chandler of the Salty Iguana Mexican Restaurant.
Coach, I know you love the family fun and great values at the Salty Iguana. What about the food?
Spank, you know we can both put down some iguana dip. I like the Prairie Village burrito, and as many as I bought from you, it ought to be called the Bill Self burrito.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to walk around the Big 12 being called Burrito Bill.
No worse than being called Spank. Spank.
Enjoy the best happy hour in town from 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays at the Salty Iguana. And check out the Salty Iguana website, saltyiguana.com.
This ad for Hellsberg Diamonds has been specifically written for those who'd rather think about football than engagement rings. When free agency starts, your team wants to get the best players they can without spending too much. If your team is you and the players are engagement rings, then your best bet in free agency is shopping at Hellsberg Diamonds, where you know you'll get the highest quality diamonds at prices that keep you from going over the salary cap. Visit your local Hellsberg store and ask about our price match guarantee, or check us out at hellsberg.com.
Imagine every day a sport court game day. Imagine looking outside your kitchen window. Today's game is being played in your backyard. You know all the players' names, stats, and history. You've created the ultimate backyard with a sport court game court. And even though the visiting team comes from 3 blocks away, all the players have a home court advantage. Call Sport Court today and turn your imagination into reality. 913-963-7529 or visit sportcourt.com. Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here for Window Nation. Winter is almost in our rearview mirror. And in a few weeks, when we're feeling the rush of spring air arriving, Window Nation will be feeling the rush of homeowners, calling for new replacement windows. If you call now and beat the rush, you'll get special spring savings, enjoy energy savings sooner, all while upgrading the look and feel of your home. Call or visit windownation.com today and get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy. Plus, you'll make no down payment, no payments, and pay no interest for 24 months. And what makes the deal more amazing is your Window Nation windows are specifically designed for our climate. With Window Nation windows, you get custom crafted quality, ultra Energy Star windows installed from installers who have installed over 1 million windows. I'd say yes. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit, plus no payments for 2 full years. Call 866-90-NATION or online at windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or windownation.com and tell them SSJ sent you.
More energy, better sleep, and so much happier. 40 pounds lighter and still going strong. Shaman's Leewood Total Wellness has changed my life. 2 words, guys, it works. Tell your friends, tell your wife, tell anyone who wants to lose some weight and live a better life. Call or stop by for a free consultation. Mention 810 and get $100 off your startup fee. Shaman's Leewood Total Wellness, 117th and Row in Leewood, or call 913-227-9150. Life is better with the feather.
Attention golfers, Casey's best value in golf is at Great Life Golf. They have the best deal you won't want to miss. Join any Great Life Classic Golf Club today and enjoy incredible perks. As a Great Life Classic member, you'll enjoy unlimited golf at all 6 Great Life Classic golf courses. Plus, members have priority access to book tee times so you can golf where you want and when you want as a Great Life Classic member. Join Great Life today at greatlifekc.com and enjoy all the benefits of a Great Life Classic membership. That's greatlifekc.com.
It's time to start thinking about spring cleaning, and I already know that thanks to my new E-Tech Custom Coatings garage floor, it's going to be easier to clean, and I'll use my garage more this year than any time before. And it looks great. Give E-Tech Custom Coatings a call today for a free estimate. That's ETEKCustomCoatings.com. For a limited time only, call E-Tech and tell them Nate sent you. You'll get 10% off your E-Tech floor. 913-745-3732. Locally owned and operated. E-Tech Custom Coatings.
Hey, this is Matt Llewellyn from 23rd Street Brewery in Lawrence. When the games are on, remember 23rd Street Brewery is the place to catch them all. You can always count on our huge portions and our handcrafted beers, but what you might not know are our fabulous cocktails. Our bartenders take a lot of pride in creating adult beverages that you will love. You'll be surprised how incredible they are. And of course, big screen TVs everywhere you look, so you won't miss a play. So join us at 23rd Street Brewery in Lawrence, 23rd and Cassold.
If you're suffering every day with joint pain, stop and listen. You can get real lasting relief now with natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. This is Stephen St. John. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue with no surgery and no drugs. This is the relief you've been hoping for your aching hips, knees, shoulders, lower back. The unique protocols at QC Kinetics were created by a physician with years of study in regenerative restorative medicine. They're treating patients every day in hundreds of clinics nationwide with remarkable success. It's the new, better, smarter, non-surgical, non-invasive way to deal with joint pain. Make this spring and summer your best ever with no joint pain holding you back. QC Kinetics, off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics.
Building a pool is not a job for amateurs. If you want a pool you'll enjoy for a lifetime, call the pros at Pro-Built Pool and Patio. Pro-Built Pool and Patio is the largest provider of fiberglass pools in the region. Unlike liners, fiberglass pools from Imagine Pools and Pentair Pool Equipment are built to last, and they have over 200 different design options to fit your space. Pro-Built Pool and Patio offers competitive pricing, financing, and the fastest install timelines. Get a free quote by calling 816-786-3893 or go to ProBuiltPatio.com.
Sports Radio 810 WHB is taking over the Power and Light District again during the Big 12 tournament for the Miller Lite Fan Fest. Come out and get ready for the games with pep rallies, giveaways, huge contests, and more. You can watch all the games on the big screen at KC Live and check out the games in great sports bars like McFadden's and Johnny's. Make your plans now for the return of the Miller Lite Fan Fest, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Sports Radio 810 WHB is your home for the Big 12 Championship. Get fired up, Kansas City, before you head into the games with the official team pep rallies, or hang out and watch all the action on the big screen. And you can catch all the latest news with press conferences featuring all the players and coaches, plus live play-by-play from inside T-Mobile Center. It's all right here on your home for the Big 12 Championship, March Madness, and the Final Four. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
It's Family Leisure's Factory Direct Hot Tub Sale. We have hot tubs coming in every week. No need to wait for months. Come get your dream hot tub today. Family Leisure also has pools in stock for spring installation. Don't go another summer without a pool for your family. Come in and see our huge selection of patio furniture. Family Leisure is your one-stop shop for pool tables, shuffleboard, bar stools, and home theater seating. All priced to go. Mention 810 and save more at Family Leisure in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome!
Spring is here, and so is the time for high school football recruiting combines. Don't miss the 810 Varsity College Recruiting Combines on April 23rd and May 7th right here in Kansas City. The 810 Varsity Combines provide a big opportunity to play college football with NAIA, JUCO, and NCAA coaches on hand, watching drills, laser-timed 40s, and more, with results sent to over 3,000 college coaches. Don't wait to register for the area's top recruiting event. Go today to 810varsity.com.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
Sorry, I got distracted because I have the Facebook comments open now, so they come in live. It's distracting. Renee says that her dog keeps pawing at her phone. She's either loving the show or trying to make it stop.
With Joshua Brisco.
Listen, if you're listening to the show with your dog, please let us know how your dog is enjoying or hating the show.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We are rolling.
Little more Almost Entirely Sports out here as we're broadcasting from Miller Lite Fan Fest at Hoop Central, presented by Sports Radio 810 WHB. I am out here in the McFadden studio, enjoying a little snowfall out the windows and having a fun night out here. Thanks again to Jordan Foote, Dani Welniak, and Sterling Holmes for joining us over the course of the show here tonight. And thanks to all of our sponsors who help bring you all the stuff we've done out here so far at FanFest and will continue to do throughout the next couple of days. Thanks to Whataburger, opening new locations throughout the Kansas City area. Also thanks to Gutter Cover KC, a first-class product installed with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. For details, go to guttercoverkc.com. Gutter Cover KC, they've got you covered. You see what they did there? Because they cover your gutters. They got you covered. You get it. You're smart. Also thanks to X Golf Leawood, the premier indoor and golf entertainment experience in town. Book your tee time today at xgolfleawood.com, located on the north side of the Town Center Plaza Shopping Center, bringing the world's best golf simulator experience to you. Also brought to you by Core First Bank. At Core First Bank, a winning game plan doesn't just magically happen. Whether we're talking basketball or your own business, you need a team that you can count on. Core First Bank, member FDIC. Also, thanks to our friends, our ever-present, ever-persistent, ever-wonderful friends at CBD American Shaman. You hear them all across the station and for good reason. Go on down to your local shaman store for a free sample of stress-sacking CBD. CBD American Shaman. Everything is better with the feather. And one more thanks to Miller Lite. Miller Lite Fan Fest, Wednesday through Sunday at the Power and Light District. Pep rallies, watch parties, prizes, and giveaways. We're out here at Fan Fest now. We'll be back out here again tomorrow, although no AES tomorrow because we'll have KU tomorrow night. But being out here tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday, we'll have a Selection Sunday show here on 810 with myself, Jordan Foote, and all the press conferences and news as brackets break. That's coming on Sunday evening. But now that we are here and going back to the studio with Rudy Salazar and intern Adele, who has been with us now for several weeks to this point. I mentioned earlier Adele, who is making her official debut here now. I think we got one word out of you at some point a week or two ago. I can't even, but it was crayons. It was crayons.
Oh,
it was crayons.
I was about to say, I think it's been much longer, Josh, and I think your just time is, just not an actual thing. And but here's the thing, I was wrong because I forgot that week ever existed. I now remember the crayons.
Well, and also now I will say that I am frozen in an iceberg, so I do feel like a Neanderthal that's being thawed out. Eventually, I'll be allowed to wander out of here and maybe step into the light, but we'll see about that. But intern Adele, congratulations, welcome. I don't know if I'm congratulating you. Welcome, welcome to an official on-air debut and a new segment we're now calling "Get to Know the Intertion."
What is intertion?
Woo! Well, so it's a funny story. And by funny story, I mean convoluted to the point that it happened like 5 years ago, and I do not remember all the details.
Might not be that funny.
And it definitely isn't that funny. But at one point, Beards McFly, rest in peace.
R.I.P. Beards.
There was a I'm gonna say mythical, because mythical kind of walks that line between real and maybe not real and all of that. So I'm gonna say mythical.
It's kind of like a Jayhawk, right? It's a mythical bird.
It's a real, it's a real thing, but has it existed in the physical realm? Who's to say? So there was a mythical urchin that lived under the desk, maybe lives still. I haven't been over there in a while. Under the desk of the ESPN Kansas City control room. There was some trash and dust down there. One CD-ROM version of the game Doom, and ultimately the urchin was also the one that would bring us the headlines when we would do headlines. There's imaging for all of that we will absolutely do at some point. Maybe we'll add a little more to this story and to the rich cinematographic cinematographic? I don't know. Boy, I'm cold. Backstory of the urchin. And then eventually, as we started getting interns, we thought, well, wait a second, this would be a great thing for interns to do. And so AES interns are, in fact, interchins. And if that's not all the glamour of sports talk radio that you expected whenever you got here, I don't know what else you could have possibly asked for.
Honestly, that was awesome. Exactly what I expected.
Let me ask you this. What did you expect whenever you, got into the parking lot day one?
Oh, I was nervous. Majorly because I don't know too much about sports. So I was like,
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't obviously never deterred us.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know too much about sports. Let's see if I can try to bring other topics into the conversation while I'm here.
Well, and so if other people now are getting to know you, what let's just do this. Couple of key facts. I love having people power rank things, list things off. Couple have you ever played Two Truths and a Lie? Do you want to give us two truths and a lie, and maybe Rudy and I can try to see if we can spot the lie?
I hate this game. I'm so bad at coming up with two truths. Fortunately, I don't have to. I'm just anytime somebody asks me to do this, I start to panic.
Okay.
Rudy's like, I went to college at Kentucky, I went to college at Wichita State, and I went to college on the moon. It's probably that one.
I didn't go to Kentucky. That's just kidding.
You are bad at this.
Okay, let's see. Two truths and a lie. Let's see. I lived in Egypt for 3 years. I have a dog, and my favorite color is purple.
Okay, now one of these, Rudy, we know for sure. I think we know for sure.
Yes.
Based off an actual conversation we had. Please play along at home.
Yes.
Please play along at home. And if I didn't know anything here, I would say 3 years in Egypt is very specific. That seems true. And I know that there's at least a grain of truth in that, unless you maybe just adjusted the length of time because of conversations we had had.
So I vaguely remember a purple puppy in Egypt, which does throw.
Man, you're so bad at this game, man. Holy smokes, you're bad at this.
Yeah.
Bad at this here. The dog thing and the purple thing are both right. If you're like, oh, quick, I need to come up with a lie. I could go favorite color. I could go a pet. Here's my line of thinking here, Rudy. I think if Adele had a dog, I think it would have come up in conversation by now. I'm not sure if the purple thing would have.
Yeah, so my thought was to me it's like the clear and obvious answer is the color because, basically everybody has a dog. But then you're like, but that's not the point of this game. This game's tricky. If somebody says one of their two truths and a lie is they have a dog, I think it's because that's, it's like, oh, hey, look, I actually don't have a dog.
I think the lie is that she has a dog.
Yeah, same.
Really?
Locking it in. That's the guess.
Okay. No, my favorite color is not purple.
You have a dog? And we haven't talked about
dog.
this? What kind of dog do you have? What's your dog's name?
I have a Yorkie Maltese, and she is named Xena.
Ooh, I
oh
like
my
the name.
goodness.
Xena, Warrior Princess.
Literally.
That's a very popular show when I was growing up. Back in
a
my days.
A Yorkie Maltese?
Yeah.
My family had 2 Yorkies for a very long time, and I think we actually bred one of them with a Maltese at one point.
Wait.
So I am...
Yorkies are cool.
Are you saying that I have your dog or like your family member's dog?
I think
maybe.
I think there's a chance that you may have either the child or grandchild, the puppy or grandpuppy of our dearly departed Gabby. I think there's a real chance of that.
R.I.P. Gabby.
Oh my gosh, what a small world.
R.I.P. That is fabulous. Okay, that's very exciting. How old is Xena?
She's 4.
So still a nice young spry pup. Lot of miles left in that tank. Any bad habits from Xena that we need to know about? Fill out the picture of Xena Warrior Morky.
Ooh, let's see. She's insane. I never thought I would get a dog like her. She likes to sleep under the covers. She's very high maintenance. A lot of my friends think she's an old woman in a dog's body.
You're describing Josh to a T here.
I was going to say the same thing.
That's terrifying.
I was going to say the same thing, but now I would like to go ahead and call a timeout and let's explore that last one, which is that your friends think that there is an old human woman in the body of your Morky?
Yes.
Why? What? Don't just say yes like that's the end of that topic.
No, okay. She does not like to be messed with. She honestly waits and like sleeps all day until I get home, and then she'll like play with me. Other than that, she'll bite if you come near her, and she just does not like to be around anybody. She'll even watch TV with me, like The Office. She likes watching The Office with me.
Such a good show.
And yeah, she just doesn't like to be messed with. Other than me.
Also, always has some caramel candies, which is weird because she's a dog. But
because she's not. She has those little strawberry candies that are in every grandma like candy dish. She loves butterscotch, which is weird.
I think butterscotch is not. I mean, caramel also plays, but butterscotch is what I meant.
She also loves knitting. She's always knitting, which is strange. She
has a sweater. She has multiple sweaters actually.
See? Knitted them herself.
I love this dog. I feel like this dog and I have plenty in common, including trying to bite people who mess with us. That is fantastic. Okay, tell us, Adele, what do you want to do with your life? How about that? Let's get existential with it.
You can say you want Josh's job. That's fine.
I do.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's all
plotting
yours.
actually for your job right now.
If you could if you could do it in a non-lethal way, like if you could, I don't know what it would take.
Well, even if it is lethal, just quick. You know, Josh did the long, drawn out, almost death. It's not for him.
I'm actually patiently waiting for you to just like freeze over at P&L, and then I'll come in like
good.
the next day.
But I don't think we do a lot of like having interns go get drinks or whatever. But if you just bring me a regular Coke at some point, you could probably knock me out that way pretty easily.
Okay.
Josh has diabetes, if you didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't
I never
talk
bring
about
it up. I never mention it.
I want to be a PR. Actually, I want to do like something in PR, communications, media, all of that. So when I got this internship, I was really excited, honestly, just to like get my foot in the door and see, what radio's all about. I'm sure I'll use it sometime in the future. So why not just have like a whole bunch of like a bag of skills under my belt? And I've met some really cool people here. Lebo,
Rudy,
and Josh.
Jed. Nah, you didn't have to. I mean, stop. I mean, come on. If you say so, but I mean,
it does make me feel good about Lebo when like somebody who's never met Lebo meets Lebo for the first time, and they're just immediately like, "Lebo's us." Like, yes.
Like,
I feel my opinion feels validated because I love Lebo.
Also, they passed the test because if anyone came in and is like, "Man, I like everybody here except for that Lubo, whatever." Like, no. This is not Liabio. Adele, you said you wanted to learn what radio is all about. Tell me what radio is all about. I'd love to know.
Ooh, let's see.
What have you learned that radio is all about in your time here so far?
I think I've heard so many. I've heard you and Rudy basically making up like the simplest jokes out of nothing, and
they are simple for sure.
Very simple.
And pretty much just talking and entertaining people. I love it. I like that it's more of like a family dynamic, and that whenever you guys are on air, you can talk about whatever and whenever, and you can make it entertaining.
That makes me feel good.
If we, I mean, she has to say that. Like she's got to get more hours still.
Still feels good to hear it.
Yeah, fair enough. If right now, if we said that we all of a sudden we do have a show tomorrow, but I can't make it, and you are hosting an hour of almost entirely sports, and it can have sports in it, or obviously not because you've been around this show long enough. What could you do an hour of radio on topic wise? What would you pick?
Ooh, I would try to come up with a whole bunch of different puns.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
My only objection is that's basically erasing us. Like instead of doing your own thing, it's like, oh, I've made Josh and Rudy irrelevant.
Let's see. Just come up with some kind of relatable headlines.
Okay,
probably.
This is good. So far, so good.
Assuming in this role that I am producing, I would certainly do my producer job of helping out, and we just go on about The Office for a while. Like that's it's a subject we both know well. Everybody loves The Office, except for my niece. Weirdly enough, it's the one thing.
Really?
Yeah, my niece hated. Like my niece is like my favorite person in the world. It's the one thing where we just like do not see eye to eye.
Why?
Because her dad watches it just too much, basically. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, I kind of get that.
I feel like everyone just needs a Michael Scott or like a Dwight Schrute in their life. That'll be so complete.
Okay, which Office characters would you compare Rudy and I to? It's too late. You can't back out now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I want to get this out of the way at the front end so you don't feel like you have to come up with a good answer.
Yeah.
There is not a flattering answer to this question.
I mean, I can think of like 5 people who if I was compared to, I'd feel pretty good about.
I feel like you guys are all mixtures of like, different characters.
You can try, but you can't make it flattering. There's no way, and I don't want you to.
Josh is right.
Okay, just one character?
Oof. No, you can mix characters if you want, but not to soften the blow. You can't be like, what are the good parts of these two characters? Like, no, part of their issues is their own dysfunctions. That's important.
All right. Rudy, he's definitely in a gym.
Feels right.
Yeah, that's
feels right.
With a little bit of, I want to say Stanley.
Okay.
You know what?
You know what?
Adele?
I don't hate it.
I think Rudy's a little bit of a jamly.
I would say I definitely have a good amount of that kind of more laid back gym attitude, but I've also just been an adult for long enough that I just want to sit there and do my crosswords and everybody should please leave me alone.
Exactly.
I think that is I genuinely think that's spot on.
That's really good. Okay, so Rudy is jamly.
All right, Josh, Michael Scott for sure.
Yeah.
And
hard to get away from.
And Dwight Schrute combined.
Ooh.
Oh man,
that is interesting.
Oh man, I'm glad this show's over because I'm gonna need to drive home to unpack that.
Oh, and a little bit of Phyllis.
Okay. I like that.
I see myself as more of a pure Angela, but I mean, whatever you see, I mean, it is whatever you see. I guess that's up for interpretation.
Oh, I don't think anybody can mount up to Angela. Honestly,
it's tough.
I tell you what, I went to a Christian college for 4 years.
That's fair.
I know some people that
a lot of Angelas.
I met some Angelas in my time. Yeah, I would not say we remain close to this day, but I would say that I went across their paths at some point. Well, with that being said, Adele, thank you for this edition of Meet the Interchin. Congratulations on taking another step here in your Interchin path on Almost Entirely Sports, and just sort of as a catch-all for everything, I am sorry. just kind of for everything. Also, it feels only right that you should get the right to say bye to somebody. Shout goodbye to someone of your choosing, and I will tell my mom bye later. I can talk to her on the phone or whatever.
Okay. Bye, Zena.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Athletes come in all shapes and